Previously on Sin's The Hero's Tale, the party and Nikit entered the jungle pyramid, believed to be the base of operations for the rogue pirate Lucian Bellroot. Inside, they found a twisting labyrinth filled with technologically advanced traps triggered by pressure plates in the floor. Stopping to investigate one of the traps, Charia discovered that they had ran on pistons and steam pressure. She collected a few nuts and bolts from the constructs before rejoining the group and moving forward. In the deepest depths of the pyramid, the party happened upon rooms that had been repurposed into machine shops, with several parts from metal humanoid bodies laying about. Following the hall into the central chamber, they prepared for the worst, with Thalia hiding in the shadows for good measure. Upon entering, they were greeted with courtesy by Lucian, who quickly proved to not be the threat that Nikos and the others believed him to be. He'd had a falling out with the Pirate Lord 4 years prior, and was trying to make a point that, using technology, the Pirate Lords could command and manipulate elements formerly beyond their control. Assuring the party that he was only putting on airs, he revealed that his subspace display in Cambelay was the full extent of his capabilities. They convinced him to undo what he had done and resolve the matter with Nikos peacefully. Following the party's return to Cambelay, they met with Lucian via his projecting scrying orb, and Charia helped him return Nikos' home exactly the way it was. Nikos forgave Lucian for his transgressions, but ordered him to swear off the pursuit of subspace magic and serve the party as a crew member as penance. Shortly after Nikos' departure, the party followed him to the docks, where they found that another pirate vessel had been moored. It was revealed to be the ship of Captain Gar, the Yuan-Ti pirate lord of Felial, who was in a heated discussion with Nikos in the latter's quarters. Entering, the party stood face to face with the menacing lord of Felial. Attempting to paint them as a force to be reckoned with, Jura tried in vain to intimidate Gar with his aura of murderous intent. With a single poison spray, Gar brought the warrior to his knees, and with his suggestion spell, commanded Jura to bow his head to the deck before ordering everyone in the room not to touch him. Gar left the chance meeting and returned to his own ship as the party exited the captain's quarters and returned to Cambelay. All right, so long intro out of the way.
Harriet does a lot of work for you people.
It's been too long.
It's only been 2 months.
Okay, so I mentioned, you guys have left the captain's quarters. Nikos is pretty much right behind you. Jira, you're unfortunately still staring at the floor. Gar told everyone not to touch you.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone will come in and knock you off eventually.
And I think the last thing I kind of hinted at was Okazad, with your perception last time, you're able to look across the docks at where Gar's ship, the Hoodwink, is moored. You saw Nikit going up the gangplank.
Hopefully he doesn't do anything stupid.
Well, he had mentioned to you that he had a delivery he had to make. That was the whole reason he was aboard the Glen in the first place. But
I still wish him like best of luck or whatever with what he's doing.
Oh, whatever. But before you guys disperse, like Nikos points out to you guys,
so we're still waiting on a couple of last-minute attendees. I would say in about 2.5, maybe 3 hours, we're going to get this parlay officially underway, so you guys can do what you want until then.
Any idea who the parlay is with?
Well, it's going to be myself and Gar in person, but if what he's told me is any indicator, we're expecting Captain's League and Carmilla to be here as well. At least in spirit, not physically.
Interesting. Alright, well, I'm gonna go make sure that, because we left him alone for a little bit, that our new guest is not causing extreme damage to his ship, trying to get it to, I don't know, travel by subspace warp energy.
well, as you...
If so much as even tries that, we're gonna have problems.
Exactly.
He won't. Lucian's smart, but he's not an idiot.
I don't, you say that, but he did start pissing you off. That doesn't sound like a healthy thing to do for anyone.
I think he realizes that it's more trouble than it's worth. Although, on a slightly unrelated note,
you two, like he focuses specifically on Okazad and Charia.
You are familiar with how the whole Parley thing works, right?
Yeah.
Okay, then. Well, actually, just go by that then, because I really. It's my first time actually hosting one since I become a pirate lord, and I really would rather it not have any problems or any issues that I would have to take responsibility for.
Things that I'm already considering.
Alright, well, I still have some last minute prep work to make before our other guests get here.
You head off to that. We have some of our own to get through.
Yeah, he turns and he goes into his captain's quarters.
Oh,
So what I'm gonna do now is, and Zach, I'm not gonna exclude you from this. I'm not gonna be an asshole. I'm gonna have you guys roll initiative, and depending, like, I'm gonna have to put you at the bottom, so everyone but Zach roll initiative, and then that'll determine. You'll each get 2 things you can do in the city. So if you want to talk to somebody, if you want to go shopping, that would be.
MJ starting off strong.
God damn it, MJ.
He didn't let go from last time.
So with my
I'm
critical
stealing off of that 20!
So with my critical initiative, I turn to Okazat and I stab him. I say, "Long live the king."
No, you do not.
I mean, I could if I wanted to.
He could.
I could kill him right now, instantly.
I mean, I don't think it would kill me, but...
Well, I could technically just cast Hold Person on you and then push you in the water. You just sink to the
Good,
bottom
but
and
I
you drown.
recommend.
Where was
I have to remember that combo for later since we're on the ocean now. Good idea, actually.
I mean, it definitely is, but...
Hold Person pushed them into the water. Well, now they can't swim and they're just gonna drown.
Okay, so MJ, you will go first, followed by AJ, followed by Deadlock.
Alright. Which, we technically did part of my thing already in secret.
Yes, you said it was the stuff you bought, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so that will count as your one thing, and then what did you want to do with that?
I believe you know what I'm after with that.
Okay, then I guess the logical course of action would be to return to your quarters and set everything up.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm gonna do. I'll be like, I'm going back to my quarters. I bought some new things I'm gonna mess around with. Knock on the door first, just in case you might open the door and it explodes or something.
Yeah, you said you knock on your own door?
No, I'm saying, I'm telling them, like, if you need me, knock on the door, just in case something might explode. We don't want you dying horribly right now.
Okay, so you return to the Ivy,
Mm-hmm.
and as you go down, you see like Ayame is in her human form with her hair tied back in the galley. She's getting dinner ready in case you guys want it. And as you walk through the galley into where the actual cruise chambers are, you go to open your door. You notice it's the latch isn't engaged.
Ah, son of a bitch. Well, I do prepare that brand new switchblade, and I kind of just have it out to my side as I open the door slowly.
Okay, you open the door. You notice pretty much, or roll me a perception actually to see just what you notice.
Perception!
That one.
Yeah, 19.
God, yeah, okay, so a 23. You notice that pretty much everything in the room is exactly the way you left it. Like, all the candles are extinguished. It's pretty freaking dark in here.
Yeah.
But obviously with your dark vision, it doesn't really affect you. You walk into the space, you notice, like, none of your, like, the bedding hasn't been disturbed, none of your stuff has been messed with. But you do notice on the side table next to your rack, there is a small metal box, about maybe a foot long, maybe 3.5 inches wide, and about the same tall. So 3.5 by 3.5 by about 12.
I will check this, because I do not remember this in my room.
No, but roll me a history real quick.
History! Yeah.
Actually, I will give it to you with advantage, just for this.
Oh, great.
You do, yeah, fuck with the nat
Never
20.
hit the crits already.
I just navigated back to the page, fucking nat 20. But, yeah, you recognize this. This used to belong to your mother. Or at least it looks very similar to one that she always had with her.
Ye-
And you notice like it's a very very ornate metal box, like a lot of intricate carvings, almost like you know that old like it almost looks like a mix of Celtic knot and like that Norse kind of spiral design.
mhm.
But as it gets to the one side, like the right side, looking at it head on, the metal appears to be like charred and discolored by fire.
And everyone who could possibly see her, so the camera and whatever dark creature left this in the room, uh, just kind of sees the color basically drain from her face as she kind of slowly runs her hands over it before attempting to open it.
And as you open it up, and inside is a similarly carved metal tobacco pipe, like very very ornate, very very regal looking. And you remember that this used to belong to Veskira. Like this was one of her like outfit completing accoutrements that she almost never left the estate without.
Well, I now have something to signal her allies and her enemies if I need to while I go out.
Yeah, and just for flavor text, the main shaft of this thing would be a kind of silverish metal with the same kind of carving on it as the actual box, and the mouthpiece and the actual the pipe, like I guess the reservoir where you would put the tobacco, are
Mhm.
both gold and very well.
Okay.
And as you pick that up, you hear sort of softly in the back corner, like up until now hidden by where you had opened your door. Figured you would have wanted that.
She kind of, her ears twitch, and she kind of just slowly turns and leans against the wall as she looks towards the source of
As
the voice.
Yeah, as you turn, like now he was leaning against the wall, but he sort of props himself up and he doesn't really move towards you, but he inches just a little bit so he's not on the wall anymore.
Mhm.
You behold this gentleman.
This gentleman. This gentleman.
Yeah, so basically what you are looking at is a hobgoblin. He's about 5'3", so not exactly tall, but definitely for his race, about average. He's got what looks like a very expensive, like dark orchid suit on. And even in the shadows of your room, there still seems to be a little bit of lens flare on a pair of red sunglasses, so you feel just this pair of just red orbs just glaring back at you from the shadows. And he's got a long, it looks like offhand, it looks less like a cigarette to you and more like he's burning an incense in his mouth. But as he walks forward, the smoke lingers.
She doesn't make any hostile move towards him, since if he was here to kill her, he had plenty of time to do so. And she kind of looks him over and goes, "And who do I have to thank?"
He removes his hat, like revealing sort of like off color, like that sort of in between red and brown hair, but it's kind of graying since he's a little on the older side.
Mhm.
But he cradles his hat under his arm, like folds his arm with the cane behind his back, and he sort of bows very deeply to you. My name is Dieval Georgia, and I take it I have the pleasure of addressing Lady Veskira's daughter Charia Arabeth.
You do, though that is something I do not usually throw around lightly. For
no,
good reason.
no, I'd imagine not, kid. But then, I'm not just some Johnny on the street either. It might actually please you to know that I was good friends with your mother before, well, the incident.
Well, that is good enough info. And I will trust you for now because, well, if you want to be dead,
Like
this
now,
is a
like
little
now,
convoluted.
well, now he's standing normally. He's returned his hat and he's now got the cane out in front of him. He lifts his hand and points the cane specifically to your rapier and violin. Little Veskira taught you how to play the fiddle, did she?
You could say that, yes.
You now
That is-
see, you now see the smoke, which after he introduced himself, I forgot to point this out. After he introduced himself, the smoke behind him actually spelled out his name.
Ah, magical smoke, awesome.
Yeah, so that's Diaval, and then Jorjia.
All right.
But as he talks now, and after he confirms, yeah, Veskira taught you how to play the violin. The smoke now forms a violin over him, and as it forms a bow as well. It's not making any noise, but the bow is dancing across the string, and he smiles. Everything Veskira learned, she learned from me.
You know, she kind of looks at him a little, not distrustingly, but it is a pretty large thing to say, and she kind of goes, pretty interesting that you say it like that. Not that I don't believe you. Something like that is not exactly, how shall I say, easy to accept, knowing my mother and as how she was.
Well, she had a lot of friends in the Underdark, and she knew enough about being tuition and all that. She and I go way back, actually. I knew her mother before her as well. Didn't teach the grandmother violin, though. She was always more of a flute person.
I don't mean to cut to the chase, but
No, by all means. We're both Underdark denizens in good standing. Business first is kind of how we do things, isn't it?
fair enough. But I don't assume that you're here just to deliver that. One could have left that at the mill. They could have left it in my room and just left it at that.
About as perceptive as I'd expect from Veskira's kid. No, I'm not here just for shits and giggles. The pipe is a gift, a little memento, you would want it. But I'm sure this goes more so for you than me, but I don't appreciate people screwing with my friends. And believe me, kiddo, there's no love lost between me and Clan Tekkenveer.
You can definitely say that I'm not on friendly terms with what they've done.
Yeah, well, Shinwei and I have never been particularly close, and now that she's gone and taken Veskira out of the picture, I officially have reason to outright hate her. But I can only do so much on my own, as can you. And since you seem to have a bigger stake in this outcome, I figured I'd help you with that, if you were interested.
A team up of sorts with between us to, how shall we say, right the wrongs.
I would say less of a official collaboration, more of a trail of crumbs, I guess you could say. I've been around a long time, and I ain't gonna throw my hat in with some random Johnny if I'm not persuaded that she can actually hold her own.
Well, I assume that you've been paying attention to what we've been doing out here.
Very closely.
You'll see that we've stopped not only a necromancer apprentice gone crazy, but
I'm not questioning your ability to hold your own in a fight or help a pirate lord or two along the way. But if you want to take out Shinwei Tekkenveer, you're gonna need some powerful allies from her neck of the woods, and I think I can provide you that.
have a list of people I could look into.
I've got a single person for you to look into for now. I'll give you the others if you can pass this one. The pipe was not only a gift, but a way to prove that you are who you say you are. As for the name... He snaps his fingers and the smoke behind him is now shifting to form another name if you want to take this down.
Yep.
It spells Dorian Leogard. So Dorian Leogard.
And can I roll history on that name or something?
You can.
All right. And yeah, that's critical.
God fucking damn it!
Shari is good at what she does.
I
Stop
see
it.
that.
Just stop it.
You recognize the name from just various stories. Like a couple of bards have actually written songs about this guy. Dorian Leogard was a famous adventurer about 20 or so years ago. Like, you don't hear that many songs about him these days, but there are, like, songs about him, like, clashing with several ogres and being able to take them all out single-handed. There was one about him one-on-oneing a demon and winning. Apparently, he was a hot shit adventurer about 2 decades ago.
So, a hot shit adventure from 2 decades ago. Where might this one be?
Last I heard, he hung his hat somewhere up near Dunbull. But he's kind of fallen off the radar now that he's, not that big into adventuring anymore. Humans don't have the longevity that your kind or mine do.
Yes, I see whoever's pinging that, thank you.
Yeah, Deadlock was telling you where Dunbull was.
Teamwork. But yeah, she kind of... So, head up by Dunbull, find Dorian Leogard, and see if he doesn't mind throwing his hat in our ring. Powerful ally for an adventurer.
Of all the potential allies I'm giving you, I'm pretty sure old Dorian's gonna be the easiest one to persuade.
You have any previous connections to my family?
He might have a few, but then it wouldn't be as fun to watch if I gave you all the information from the get-go, now would it?
Tria kind of just smirks and kind of pops her shoulders up a little bit. Well, you know how it is. Always inquisitive.
Oh, I know. And trust me, I know that look all too well. The Skira used to get it all the time. I will give you this, though, before I leave you to your devices. Dorian's not just some random Johnny. He's got a connection to the Arabith. I'm just not going to tell you what it is yet.
Oh, what a little surprise. I guess we can call it the surprise gift.
It'll be a surprise and a test for you, and if I see that you're able to investigate this man properly, I'll give you the next name, and once you find that person, we can seriously start to talk about taking the fight to the Tekkenbeer.
I've already had some inkling of powerful ally that I could get on our side, possibly. But that one I don't reckon I can get right this minute.
Well, anybody you feel like recruiting on the sly, by all means, go for it.
I'm thinking of a certain, how shall we say, vampire pirate lord?
Let me see. So with an 8 on his... Actually, you know what? I'm going to roll that with advantage. There's no way he wouldn't know who that is. Okay, yeah, 15. You see, like, he looks up, like he actually tilts his head up, and the gleam leaves from the sunglasses, and you actually see, like a pair of eyes, like, behind the lenses. And you see, like, a glint of knowing in them as that, like, almost ominous-looking smirk of his returns. Oh. Well,
You're
making friends all over. Well, you're making friends all over then, ain't you?
Well, I'm already acquaintances with Lee, and the local pirate lord here is, well, fairly happy with our work since we restored his home. While the big honcho lizard is not exactly up for talking at the moment, if I can work my way in, I might be able to get a friend there and, well, some additional power. Because all the more power will be needed for what I'm going to do.
Well then, by all means, keep on keeping on with that.
But I will definitely look into this Dorian Leogard.
You do that. In the meantime, I'll kick back and lay some groundwork for once you're done with him. And as he says that, you see, like, from starting from his shoes and slowly going up his legs, his body is turning into the smoke.
I will. Well, you'll see when I get my job done. I haven't exactly failed before.
Well, then I look forward to talking to you again. And as it speeds up to encompass the rest of him, right now, like, it's just his face. As his body disappears, almost like Cheshire Cat style, it's just the red gleams of the lenses and the smile left. And as it fades, later, kiddo.
She gives a little backhanded kind of wave, and she kind of just waits for him to vanish before looking at that pipe.
Yeah, as Diaval's body is gone, like, all the smoke that was in the room is completely vanished. Like, looking around now, there's no evidence that anybody was here besides you, sans the box you're now holding.
Yeah, I kind of sniff a little bit and cough lately. Man needs to work on his smoking habit. Oh well. But now onto my actual devices here. She says as she starts lighting the candles for something, and I'll let someone else take over for a little bit since that was
Yeah, so it'd be AJ's turn now.
My turn?
Yes, your turn.
Okay.
Is there anything you want to do? Anybody you want to speak to specifically?
Okay, well, actually, I've got questions.
Okay.
Because you had some pregnant role issues. If it's a good day or a bad day. When is that going to start?
I would imagine that would start in a couple of... Because we decided Kitsune have a gestation period of 2 months.
Yes.
So I imagine that would start in maybe a week or two, since it's only been,
Yeah, because how far along am I?
It's only been 2 days since you were with League, so really the only one who would have, like, the knowledge of what's going on would have been Juggalo.
Okay. Well, is there something that I can buy in town that would help alleviate some of those symptoms? Like maybe something enchanted or some herbs or something? Since I know it's coming.
Okay, would, I guess... Actually, yeah, Thalia, you would have actually, like, be familiar with, like, the symptoms associated with it from when Queen Takibi had Prince Hikage back in Kiriyama. Since you're King Mao's attendant, you would have been helping with that.
Okay.
So then, yes, I would say you are familiar with a combination of herbs that does alleviate those kind of sicknesses, and basically make it to where you can function as normal at least until the lattermost stages.
Okay, so is there someplace I can buy those?
Yes, along the main street of Camberley, you find an herb shop.
Okay, well then I go in and I ask for those herbs. Okay,
as you go in, you're greeted just with the sensory assault, like even more so since you tend to prefer your natural form. Just a bunch of, basically like if you opened a spice cabinet, like that smell just hits you like a ton of bricks as soon as you walk in the door.
Ugh, I should have turned into human form.
But yeah, you see there's a slightly older woman standing behind the counter. She's flanked by a pair of burning incense that have kind of like a rose and sandalwood herb or smell about them. But as she looks at you,
"Oh, hello, dear. What can I do for you?"
Yes, I'm looking for, and I list off the herbs.
Okay, yeah, and obviously I'll just flavor text that. I have no idea like what would do that, but she looks over the list and she spends about 2 minutes, like rummaging around on the shelf. She's a tiny old lady, so she has to get a step stool to get some of the stuff from the higher shelves. But she sets 3 little bottles or vials of different color herbs in front of you, and she tells you just, whatever you're like, mix these into your like water, tea, whatever, for however long it takes to alleviate the symptoms.
Okay. How much?
For that, she's only charging you 30 silver.
Cool. Done.
All right. So then you may add, I guess, morning sickness herbs to your inventory.
Oh, I just put prego herbs, but yeah.
Okay, yeah, prego herbs works.
Okay. Then my other thing. Is there somewhere I can do something with these basilisk guys, or should I wait for that?
I believe there could, because basilisk guys are, I think, like their main use is in like a petrification potion.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess if you wanted to find an alchemy, oh no, it's what was it? It was a poison that inflicts petrification.
Okay.
So yeah, if you wanted to take that to an alchemy shop, you could have that turned into a poison that you can coat your weapon.
Okay. Is there anything else I can do with them, or is that pretty much my only option? Because I
You
have
can-
4 of them, so I don't know if I
You
need to
can
save
either
one.
you can either turn that, like, use each one as a component in the petrification poison, or alternatively you could try to sell them, barter them, do whatever you want. You have to.
I'll keep them for now.
Okay. Though, since just flavor text, since you didn't have a means to out in the jungle, it would probably behoove you to find a way to preserve them quickly.
Oh,
Because right now you've kind of just got 4 bloody eyeballs chilling in a
that's true. Then maybe I will find the alchemy shop then and just get rid of them.
Okay. Again.
Faithful basilisk.
Ugh, God, no.
No.
Yeah, so just further down the main street, you see a couple of like really just the stereotypical types, like the people in the robes and the glasses, like with a bunch of like vials and shit on bandoliers coming in and out of this place. You figure, yeah, probably the alchemy shop. You walk in and there's an old gray-haired tabaxi in glasses, like mixing stuff at a little stand in the corner. And he turns to like look at you as you come in. Good evening, dear.
Hi, can you do anything with basilisk guys?
Oh, my dear, can I do anything with basilisk eyes? Do you have them?
Yeah, I pull out all 4 of them.
You see, like, where before it was like, just old man at work, he is now kid in a candy shop when you drop these in front of him. Like, oh, yes. So would you like, are you trying to sell them? Would you like me to make something out of these?
I can sell 2 and then make something out of the other 2.
Done. He takes the 2 you're selling him, and he immediately he fills 2 little jars with some kind of liquid, and he very carefully, like very gingerly, sets 1 eye into each jar, puts a big wide cork on it, and sets them up on his shelves. And for the other 2, he takes them back to his alchemy stand, and he gets, a bunch of other supplies, and he's like, so I won't charge you for the supplies, because obviously you've provided them. But for the work, would you be willing to part with, I don't know, 20 silver?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, so you hand over the money.
How much is he paying me for the other 2 eyes?
Well, he's setting that aside. He sets the silver over on the table, and he runs over to the counter. Like, okay. He pulls out a small, like almost like the drawer out of a dresser. He sets it down and he starts rummaging through it. This man is a little disorganized, but he reaches in. He pulls out a small leather pouch and he starts dumping coins out into his hand. He holds it out. There's 200 gold.
I'll take it.
He gives you the 200 gold, 100 for each eye. Now, and then he goes back to his table. Now, for me to finish these, it's going to take about an hour.
That's fine.
Very good. Then I'll work on this. Just come back in a little bit once it's done.
Okay, then I'm just gonna say that I'm gonna just wander around town, maybe find a little snack,
All
and then
right.
head back in an hour.
Okay, cool. Then yeah, that'll be. I guess because you said snack you're gonna find.
Yeah, I just probably like a little food stand or something. Just grab something quick.
Okay, because yeah, there's that little hut on the beach that you guys got the steaks from. And then there's a couple other, like, I guess small restaurant-looking places. Well, like typical palm frond, like, almost like a luau pig roast kind of looking place.
That's fine.
Okay, then yeah, I'll say you get something there. They're, like, as soon as you walk in, like, the people who actually work for Nikos, like, oh, you're one of the ones who helped with Lucian.
Yes.
Like, as soon as, like everyone's eyes are now on you, the chefs are going right back to the kitchen. And after about 5 minutes, they come out with basically just the king's platter, basically. Like the good cuts off of pretty much everything they have, and they don't charge you for it.
Well, my tails are definitely wagging. Very happy. I thank them and I sit down and eat it.
Yeah, they all eventually go back to their conversations, but a lot of them are now talking about like specifically you and the rest of the crew. Like, yeah, like I hear they put the pyramid house back exactly where it was. Can you believe that shit?
I'm just listening as I eat.
Okay, so I guess that'd be perception if you want to really glean into what they're saying.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 12. Yeah, they're basically saying like, yeah, like these guys just showed up. They decided to help Captain Nikos. They went out into the jungle and they scared the shit out of this guy so bad that they made him put his house back.
I giggle at that.
Yeah, that seems to be the talk du jour right now, is you guys helping put Pyramid House back where it was supposed to go.
Yeah, I don't say anything because I don't want to feel the gossip, but I'm
Mhm.
listening and enjoying.
Okay, then yeah, I'd say you finish your meal, and from this, like it, you feel like not really like full to bursting, but like that really like energetic kind of feeling you get after a really good meal.
Mm-hmm.
You get a +2 to Constitution saves for the next 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
So just take a note of that.
For the next how many hours?
24. So for
Okay.
the next day. So by dinner time tomorrow night, it'll run out.
Okay.
All right, Deadlock, you're up. Deadlock.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted still.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna head back to the Ivy, make sure everything's just like going well, especially with our new guest.
Oh, Lucian hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, he hasn't? Dang it.
I will say, okay, if you want to, because you get 2 actions here, if you want to spend one, and if it lasts like about an hour or so, because this is all going on concurrently. So if you do something that lasts about an action, that would give Lucian enough time to show up.
Hmm.
Because you got to remember, he had to hoof it from the pyramid after he put the house back.
Yeah, that's true. Not really much I can think of like doing right now, aside from like this one stupid stone that I still have no idea what it's for.
Oh, that one you found at the cliff in Vernal?
I still don't get it.
Oh, I know.
Is there someone I can like ask to like look into it, like what this thing's about?
I mean, it would be, like, you could probably have it appraised if you can find a shop in town that deals in, like, jewelry or precious metals or stuff like that.
Something like that probably wouldn't work. I'm literally at a loss for what I want to do right now with these 2 hours.
Well, let's start with what you know. You're going to be at a parlay in about 3 hours.
Mm-hmm.
You know Lucian is on his way and will probably be here in about 1. Nikit is over on the Hoodwink, as would be Gar and his crew. And then you've got Nikos' people on the chance meeting if you wanted to talk to them.
I suppose it might as well just get to know Nikos' crew or whatever.
Nikos' crew?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, so was there specifically anyone you wanted to talk to? Because the only 3 I've name dropped were Nikos himself, who is currently in his quarters preparing for the Parley, and then there are Eliza and Patrice, who are his attendants.
I suppose I'll see the attendants then.
Okay, you find them. Eliza is at the end of the gangplank. She would have been watching, like, people coming and going, like making sure that not just any random person can get onto Nikos' ship. And Patrice is on the opposite side of the ship, kind of just leaning back against the wall, relaxing. So as you walk up the gangplank, like, Eliza would, like, greet you, like,
Oh, Captain Okazad, welcome back.
It's good to be back. Nice to actually relax for a couple of hours.
well, she's welcoming you back because you guys were just on the chance meeting, like, 30 minutes ago.
So,
Like
what's it like serving a pirate lord?
Honestly, it's not that bad. I mean, obviously Nikos is powerful, enough so to, probably take on me and Patty if we decided to gang up on him, but he's still young, still inexperienced, and he takes a lot of heed to what his seniors say, so it's nice. Originally I was annoyed because he was a kid, but he's a smart kid, so
Everyone's got to start somewhere.
yeah, it's a lot better than I thought it would be going in.
Unfortunately, it seems like there's going to be more work ahead of us.
And then out from the ivy leans Sharia and she goes, "It's better than serving your mom!"
That does not happen.
That does not.
No, it doesn't. I just like making fun of.
But yeah, so she points out, he's only been a pirate lord for 4 years, so she expected it to be a mixed bag going in, but she's been pleasantly surprised by how he is.
So I'm sure you and your sister have something like noteworthy to mention,
The what?
like some sort of like thing that stuck out to them.
Oh, like reason that Nikos chose them to be his attendants?
Yeah.
She stands there kind of with her arms crossed, and as she unfolds her arms, you see from the elbow down, her forearms transform into tiger claws.
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
I'm assuming your sister over there does that as well?
She waves her hand as a tiger claw.
I'll take that as a yes.
Yeah, this is one of the few places, really in all of Loviana, that lycanthropes can actually live and not be hunted or persecuted or any other kind of id. So it's nice.
A shame, really.
Yeah, well, I can understand people's fear, even if it is a little unfounded. For every one lycanthrope that's like myself or Patty, there's at least 20 that would just maul some random person for no reason.
That's Feral's, though. Can't really do much about it.
Well, unfortunately, in a batch of bad apples, the 2 good ones don't really stand out.
Unfortunate.
But I know a lot of the pirate-controlled territories are just generally like that. Hell, there's a bunch of undead walking around Crescent Cove. Nobody bats an eye.
Just a bunch of undead just walking by? Just anything in particular? Just normal undead thralls?
A couple of them are thralls, then, there's a few zombies. Nice ones, actually. There's one that actually makes really good curry. But a couple of zombies, there's a few liches, shit ton of vampires. Actually, the head honcho over there, she's a vampire.
Wonder what they would think about us in Vernal.
Probably wouldn't give you much mind. There's actually a lot of humans that live there too. The vampire population use them as kind of blood banks.
I'm assuming you've heard the news of Renauld, no?
Only what Nikos has told me. You guys dealt with the necromancer that had gone rogue, kind of flipped the middle finger to Muda and his rules.
Tons of skeletons, including a skeletal wyvern.
Like, her eyebrows raise at that. Huh. And you guys took that out?
Yep.
That's impressive. And at this point, you notice Patrice is no longer on the, like, leaning against the wall. She is now, like, right up on the side of your face. Oh, that's awesome. What was it like? What was it like?
Well, he was definitely a big one. You can ask the lizard for who smacked his head in and then proceeded to lose his hammer at the same time. It was full of so many highs and lows.
Like, she,
This,
like,
just
her,
he just like
her eyes are fucking glowing as you're describing this to her.
And of course, everyone got a bit of things from them. These, Ogala just basically just like flaps out his wings a bit, was an unexpected one.
She basically, like, obviously, like, just for flavor text, she, like, fangirls just like a little puff of blood from her nose, like, oh my god, that is so fucking cool.
I just turn over to Eliza and was like, is she always like this?
Unfortunately, yes, she's very excitable. And like she
Which
like
makes you the level-headed one of the pair.
yeah. Basically, what she's saying is she is the level-headed one. Her younger sister is nuts, basically.
How very soul eater of you.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna sugarcoat that. I enjoy their dynamic, and I wanted to incorporate it here. But Patty's kind of jumping up and down, like, so you said there was a lizard that hit him really, really hard and lost his hammer. Where's he? Can I talk to him?
Do I remember which way he went?
Jura's still in the captain's quarters with his face to the ground.
He's not to be disturbed right now.
Oh, that guy, the one that Captain Gar made a bitch of.
Yeah, that one.
Cool, so not gonna touch him. Anyone else? Anyone else do anything fun to the wyvern? Actually, forget the wyvern. What else did you do? Did you kill the necromancer?
It was kind of anticlimactic.
She cocks her head to the side. Huh?
She had this like whole ritual thing that, or at least appeared to have some sort of ritual thing going up in her little crypt, and the fox drops a freaking rock on her head.
Again, her eyes go all wide and bright. Is the fox a witch?
I do not believe she is. It was literally just like this one that was hanging from the ceiling. She throws her little rope dart onto it, and it breaks and splat.
There's like a long pause where she just kind of stares wide-eyed at you. Her mouth, like formerly in, shock surprise, forms into a giant grin. That is awesome!
I'm going to be dealing with this a lot, aren't I?
Liz is nodding her head.
There is just nothing that does not escape your imagination, is there?
No, not really.
Oh, because that's having myself a bit of a chuckle at this.
Yeah, like at this point, like, Eliza's looking at her. So, like, isn't there something you had to do to get ready for the parlay? Oh, right. And she rolls. Let me see if I can get this, because she does not have... clicked on the wrong thing. Okay, with a 19, you see Patrice, like, with a single... like, she goes around, she hangs off the side of the ship, and she grips that little netting of line that goes up the mast. She grips it, and she kind of hoists herself up, and she fucking flies up this netting without even having to climb, and lands on the crow's nest, and she starts doing something with line up in the rigging. And now, like, Eliza's looking at you again. So, have you ever been to a parlay before?
I believe I've been a few times.
So then
Not
you know
usually a
what
participant, though.
So you know what to expect and what not to do.
One of them I'm sort of dreading to address hopefully things just go all right.
Look, just don't do anything stupid and don't threaten anybody, okay?
I don't worry about me doing that. I worry about a certain lizard over there who made things a bit more complicated.
Yeah, well, this is Nikos' first time actually hosting one of these, so complicated isn't something we want tonight.
Yes, I'm hoping to just leave him at the ship and, well, maybe make an example of him if he chooses not to.
Well, hopefully it won't come to that.
Hopefully.
Yeah, because Nikos has enough on his plate now, getting back on his feet after this whole thing with Lucian. I really don't want him to have to kill your friend. That would suck.
Honestly, I'm questioning doing that myself sometimes.
Well, anyway, we've got some work to do. Prep things to finish.
I suppose I'll leave you to it. I believe I've taken enough of your time.
We'll see you at the Parley. We'll be keeping watch over everything along with Nikos.
Hopefully things are just smooth sailing from here.
That is the hope. And she kind of goes back to that relaxed, hip-cocked, cross-arm position, just watching the gangplank again.
Yeah, I think I'm just done with here now.
Okay. So now as you disembark the chance meeting, you notice coming down the dock, more specifically being carried on another one of those steel automatons, is Lucian, but this time he's not in the discount tuxedo mask shit from before. He is now in this outfit.
Ah, true engineer. Hard.
He's got the two mechs that weren't taken. Thalia took the one, but he's got
And
the
she
two.
still has it, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's still in the Ring of Vanishing, but he's got the one who is carrying him in one arm and kind of supporting a big box of shit in the other. And you notice over Lucian's back, he's got a big ass, what looks like a wrench.
He's much cuter like this.
And then behind that automaton is the second one, and that one is carrying just another big box of clinking metal stuff.
I wasn't aware you were going to be bringing so much luggage there.
Well, Captain, I imagine you would want me to how do I put it? Be useful.
I hope we have space on this vessel for that.
I'm sure it'll be fine if we just make a small corner in I don't know, somewhat. Really, as long as I've got my spanner and he holds up the wrench, I should be able to just jimmy you together anything if I've got the proper tools. And actually, just how much space do we have on the ship?
Sebastian?
Oh, you want to just...
Yeah, I'm just hollering over to him just to ask about if there's any workspace that he can have.
Sebastian looks at the big, the two big boxes of shit, then at Lucian, then at you. I'm sure we can clear out some space in the forward hold. It just means we won't be able to carry as much of the stuff that we actually want. He looks at Lucian with a little bit of vitriol. He understands that he's going to be a useful addition to the crew, but he's explaining to you that you can put Lucian's stuff in the forward hold. It's just going to sack you a little bit of treasure space.
Tell me, Lucian, how much of this stuff is actually necessary?
He goes to talk. Oh, shit.
Oh, because I just face palms right there.
Oh, if you ask me, it's all necessary, but some is more easily replaced than others. Obviously, the automatons, I would prefer that they stay. I don't want to leave them on Cambelay where any random person can take them and use them, not while my brand is on their shoulders. The parts I can acquire elsewhere.
What is all this parts even for anyway?
Well, frankly, therefore, whatever you need, whatever we need, I use these parts to throw together different contraptions, different pieces of technology. Perhaps not as complex as the automatons, but certainly more complex than the folding knives that I gave you back in the pyramid.
Sebastian, how much of this treasure space will this take?
He explains that if the say if the Ivy can handle maybe 20 chests worth of treasure, putting Lucian's stuff in the forward hold, counting the automatons, will reduce it to 15.
I suppose we're not using that space right now. If we need to lighten the load, we'll do so at a later date.
Oh, believe me, Captain, if it becomes a problem, I will gladly relocate or jettison what I do not need.
Then plop your stuff down and start seeing what you can actually get to. We're
Of course.
going to be busy in a couple of hours, and I'd really hate to hear that there's a now hole in our ship.
If there's a what?
That there's a hole in our ship when we get back.
Oh, right. Yeah, like he nods, and as he's walking away, he asks you,
So, is there a room? Is there a rack? Is there a hammock, perhaps, that I can where I can lay my head?
Sebastian,
I'll show him to his quarters, sir.
that would be appreciated.
yeah, and he, like Sebastian turns and Lucian follows him.
Yeah, I think Ikoka's just gonna lie down for a few minutes, just for whenever we're ready. Maybe call up Charia later.
All right. Then, in that time, Zach, we now come to you. So basically, what you have, Zach.
Sorry, I had to
He's
unmute.
gotta unmute. There we go.
I had to mute my recording and this.
Yeah, I figured. So, so what happens is you're still kind of, face against the planks in Nikos' quarters. You've noticed out of the tops of your eyes, like out of your periphery, Nikos has, like over the last 10 or so minutes, set up like a big round table. He's getting some chairs together. And from behind, you hear a knock on the door, and Nikos looks. Come in. The door swings open. There's Nikit.
Hey, Captain Nikos. I just came to collect some of our cargo. I thought Captain Gar said not to touch him. Yeah, well, what's the worst Gar's gonna do to me? Jura, hold still for a second and clench your teeth.
Anger forever seething.
No, like as you clench your teeth, Nikit just bends down in front of you, and not really enough to leave a mark or anything, just lightly slaps you in the face. And you notice that the suggestion, like you can now lift your head. You're no longer under the spell's effect.
I have no words. Just seething in anger.
Well, let me see if I can alleviate that at least a little bit.
And he goes to he lays one of his hands on you, and you heal for. Oh, okay. So you get 6 HP back. So you're up to 7. It's not great, but you're feeling a little better than you were.
Only ever so slightly angry.
Yeah, like obviously still livid at being subjected to that, but
Right, well, if there's nothing else, Jura, I'm gonna head out of here. I'd suggest you probably get out of Captain Nikos' hair, too.
And I will voluntarily
he
leave.
turns to leave.
And I will voluntarily leave behind him.
Okay, so now you have 2 actions in Cambolay.
I have one of 2 objectives here. I either need something that'll make me more resistant, or something that'll tell me something about Gar.
Before before we do that, Nikit turns back at you.
Lost a little weight, have you?
Wait, what?
Your weapons are gone.
Oh, damn it! What happened to my weapons? I forgot.
Oh, like you hear Nikos call out,
Gar took the money left.
God damn it! So now I have nothing.
Hell, that's even more reason to be pissed at him.
This is not gonna go well.
yeah,
This parlay is gonna go shitty.
yeah, the whole pissing off Gar before the parlay thing, that was a wrench that I wasn't expecting.
I assume he has a way to earn them back somehow.
Yeah, there's a way to get everything back if your rolls are good enough, but right now all you've got is the blade on you.
So
Roll poorly, you might even lose that.
So I'll grab him to keep out shoulder and said, how do I get my shit back? Where's my shit?
Well, the most direct way I could think of would be to go aboard the Hoodwink and ask for it.
What if I go aboard it and
Just
take it?
bear in mind. Just bear in mind you may want to take a couple of breaths first. If you're already seething mad now, Gar's just gonna have you blowing your top if you go now.
Nikit, I need to know how do I resist magic? I need to be against magic. Need to defend against magic.
Don't piss off a magic wielder.
You are no help.
That's usually the easiest way.
What's the hardest way?
I mean, there are certain... the hardest way, well, there might be a couple of magical items strewn about that might offer you resistance to this or that. Maybe some herbs or potions that may offer you something. Offhand, though, I can't think of anything that grows in this part of the world.
Well, that's no help.
But if you'd like to make it a point to look for some kind of magical resisting item or artifact, I can keep an ear to the ground for you.
That helps.
Well, I imagine you're going to be leading the charge there. Hell, your name means hunter.
I didn't plan on becoming a Pirate Lord, but it seems like it's gonna happen at some point now.
Oh, I highly doubt that'll be the case.
You can doubt all you want. I've killed many, and I'll kill more.
Killing a bunch of people doesn't exactly make you a good pirate lord. Just makes you a killer.
Well, then that's all I need to be.
You don't know much about how they do things, do you?
Roll history with disadvantage.
History's already bad. Oh, come on, I pressed the button. Oh,
Yeah,
there it goes.
You rolled it. Yeah, no,
you
you
already pressed it once.
yeah, you rolled a 2.
I know, it's very delayed on my end, though, so I didn't see it until a little after.
So yeah, no, as far as you're aware, Pirate Lord big, Pirate Lord powerful. And you see just like this look of,
Oh, that's right, I'm dealing with a savage. Okay, so basically the way things work is if you want to be a pirate lord, first off you have to be chosen by whichever pirate lord you're looking to replace. And second, the remaining 7 need to actually agree with that choice after your pirate lord dies.
Well, then I don't need to be a Pirate Lord. All I want is Gar dead. Fox Girl tried to kill Nikos. I thought it would work on him, or Deer Girl.
Yeah. See, I've been screwing with Gar pretty much my entire life. Even I would never cross blades with him.
Coward.
More like I just enjoy living.
As a coward.
Well, say what you want, but crossing blades with a pirate lord, regardless of your station, is usually a quick way to get yourself put in the ground.
Well, then I'll just become stronger, and then I won't be in the ground. He will be in the ground.
We'll see how that works for you. Bear in mind when you do make that little suicide run, I'll have no part of it.
I don't need your help. I just need to get stronger.
Uh-huh. Well, best of luck with that. I'll help you look for that magic resisting whatever.
as he turns to leave. But as he does, like as he continues down the gangplank, he turns again.
Oh, and you may want to keep more of those violent opinions to yourself during the parley if the captain lets you show up.
Oh, I'm gonna show up.
Then I would respectfully, of course, limit your talking. Limit your talking as much as you possibly can.
I'll keep quiet if I get my weapons back. That's the only thing I promise.
I can't promise that. That's between you and
He looks over at the hoodwink.
whoever's over there.
Well, I guess I'm going over there then.
Okay, yeah. Nikit returns to the Ivy. You go you go down the dock a little ways to Gar's frigate. And as you walk up the gangplank, you are greeted almost immediately by this guy. He is Eliza standing at the end of the gangplank, and you can tell right off the bat by his tail, he's a Viashino like you. But this man is about 6'2", towering over pretty much everyone else. And he's got his arms crossed and his tail curled up over his shoulder. It doesn't look like yours, like where yours basically looks like a giant scimitar blade. His comes to a point like a spear.
So what's your deal?
God damn it.
You're welcome.
What'd you say, Zach?
Wait, what happened? Oh. I see.
Oh, goddamn MJ.
It's perfect.
It really is.
I applaud you, sir.
Well, bear in mind you've only got 7 hit points at the moment, so don't do anything too terribly stupid. If Soto and Reese were any indicator, you can imagine Gar's attendants are probably stronger than you, too.
Hello,
But as you walk up the...
lizard.
Yeah, as you walk up the gangplank, like this guy says to you in Draconic, "And who are you that you request entry?"
I just want my weapons back that were taken from me, and then I will leave.
He leans forward a little bit, and the spear tail looms further over his shoulder, now about half a foot from your face. "You did not answer my question."
I am lizard. I want weapon back. I leave.
Roll persuasion with disadvantage.
You can do it, Zach. Wow, that's
That's
actually
actually
pretty
not
good.
bad.
Yeah, that actually isn't bad. I'm a little surprised. Let me roll something for this guy. Okay, so with a perception of 11, he notices, like, he looks at your tail. "You are Biashino as well."
Yes.
And one more roll for him, a history with advantage. Good thing for advantage. "By the shape of your tail, I would imagine you are from Do you not respond to that?
No, sorry. The internet got all robotic for a second there.
He said by the shape of your tail, he assumes you're from Clan Harrock.
I am.
You are the second of Clan Harrock I have met in as many days.
Wait a second. Who was the first?
There was a younger member of the clan. He managed to escape to Felial not long ago. Said something of a massacre. It gladdens me to see that another of the clan made it away.
Yes, I heard about that. I'm just here for my weapons. I'll talk to the other one when I find him.
Roll deception.
I was about to
Against-
say.
Yeah, against his insight. You actually tied.
How does that work?
I'm gonna say it goes to Zach. So this guy, he sort of raises a non-eyebrow at you.
You are the one that Captain Gar afflicted with the spell, yes?
That one time, yes.
Wait, what'd you say? He got a little roboty.
No, just for only the one time, yes.
Well, word spreads quickly, Harok.
And he sort of steps aside. His tail now, like, stops looming over his shoulder. He scrapes it on the deck planks a couple times, like almost sharpening the edge. And he holds it up again. Now the point is pointed towards a large glowing set of double doors towards the back of the ship under the wheel. you will find Captain Gar in his captain's quarters. I would advise this time that you be on your best behavior.
Only this time. And then I'll just enter I'll enter the doors.
So you enter, don't even knock. You see Gar sitting at a desk looking at what appears to be a seat chart. He looks up and he's like,
Who the fuck let you up?
Another lizard. I'm sorry, and you can tell, like, I'm struggling to do this, for my actions earlier. I would like my weapons back if you would so kindly.
Fucking Nikit.
roll persuasion with disadvantage to get your shit back.
Oh no.
Oh god, a 2.
That's awful.
Unless he gets a 1 or a 2.
That's not good.
Okay, so let's see.
Oh, fine. Well, you've shown balls coming here at least. Kind of hard for me to hate on that.
So he gets up and he goes over to like just a huge collection of like chests and stuff.
Let's see, where did I put it?
It's very clear that he's fucking with you right now. This was like 15 minutes ago that he would have taken your shit.
Oh, right. Here it is.
He takes out your spear and he sets it down in front of you.
Thank you. Now, what about my other weapons?
Yeah, you know. No, he just sets down the spear. Your axe and your force hammer aren't there.
Where are my other weapons, Pirate Lord Gar, sir?
Oh, I didn't see any other weapons. All I took was this.
Then where have my other weapons gone, sir? I always had them with me, sir.
He looks like he's now like getting up close to your face.
As I said, I only took this. I didn't notice any other weapons. Is that a problem?
Biting my tongue as hard as I can. It is a problem, but not your fault, sir. I'm just looking for my weapons that have been misplaced, sir.
Where's my popcorn when I need it?
Well, he sort of backs off of you.
Well, I don't know where they are, but let's assume for the sake of argument, if I did happen to find anything valuable that may have fetched me a price like, oh, I don't know, maybe one of Mayor's handcrafted weapons, that shit would probably be with a courier running through Camberley. Oh, trying to get me a fair price on it right about now.
Oh, you son of a bitch. And I've just immediately run out the ship looking for the courier.
As the doors swing shut behind you, Gar sits back down at his desk, holds up his one good hand.
Good talk, see you at the Parley.
What a dick.
I just imagine with just everyone on the IVs just now seeing Juro go shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck, shit, fuck.
Pretty much.
You think you'll be alright, Charlia?
I'm below decks doing
I
stuff.
thought you would have been up by deck by now.
Keep in mind, all our stuff is happening at one time.
I'm in my room.
Or all our stuff is happening at one time.
It's
Oh,
it's
oh,
all
that's
happening
right.
concurrently.
That's right. He's still like what? He still has one more action, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, my other action's finding.
Yeah, so I
finding the
guess
courier.
looking for your shit is. So you're now running through Camberley. Like as the sun has gone down, like the kind of pirate nightlife has started to flow into the city. So the street is a little more crowded than it was in the middle of the day. If you want to look for, or you can ask after like some random courier. Otherwise, you can take the chance and do a perception with disadvantage to try and find them yourself.
Well, all my rolls have been 2, so I mean, I think I have a good chance this time.
I was gonna say you're either gonna follow to.
It's 12.
Okay, so with a 12, You notice there is one person, a small, like, gold-haired tabaxi, with a rather large, like, wooden crate slung over her back that is sort of briskly walking through town, like, up towards where Nikos' house is.
Oh, you son of a bitch. Get the fuck over here.
She turns after, like, as you say that, she turns, like, her ears perk up, and you see this look of terror overcome her face, and she starts fucking booking it.
Well, I'm chasing her down. Obviously. Just yell, I just want my goddamn hammer back.
Alright, then roll athletics. I'll do the same for her. Okay, with a 14, about halfway up the main street, you manage to close the gap. You're now, like, you're both still running, but you're maybe within 5 feet of her. Like, if you were to try and take a lunge to try and tackle her, Assassin's Creed 4.
What would I roll for that? Acrobatics?
For that, either your choice, athletics, acrobatics. I think Jura's better with athletics.
He is by 1
Though
point.
if he misses, he basically the gap widens.
I have +6 in athletics. I better not miss.
14.
Okay.
That's
Then
a-
let me
that's a
12.
And let me do a dex for her.
Well, that was close.
Okay. Yeah, it's another tie though. So let me see if I can flavor text this. You go to lunge at her. You miss her, but your claw grips the wooden box, and you manage to yank it off her back.
Finally. Just want my stuff back.
Well, she keeps running. She doesn't stop to collect whatever was in the box.
Well, I guess I'll open the box.
Inside the box, you find what appears to be a massive collection of finely carved wooden ducks.
What? Well, then athletics to go after her again.
Well, that's now perception to even see if you can tell where she went.
Yeah. I want my stuff back.
Yeah, 21. 21. She booked it into the smaller community back past Nikos' house.
I guess I gotta go run her down
And
again.
I'll let that 22 carry over. You manage to run her down and sort of catch up. You see her go into this this little cobblestone house with a palm frond roof, and she slams the door shut behind her.
I will knock on the door gently and say, I just want my hammer that Gar took from me. Are you Gar's courier? And I'm also holding the box.
Like, you hear a very shaky voice from behind the door. Who the fuck is Gar?
God damn it, have your box back. Is there another courier in town?
You'd have to go back to town and check.
I didn't know if they know.
And
God,
I'll give you that, but I'll give you basically what you just did. You assaulted a toy runner.
God.
Why were they in such a haste?
Because he said, "Hey, you son of a bitch."
I mean, like, even before that.
They're delivering. They gotta be fast.
Probably had. Yeah, she probably had to rush a delivery.
So I run back to town.
Yeah, so you go back to town, make one more perception, but if you fuck this up, I gotta call it here.
$16.
Okay, a 16. You see a bunch of shady-looking types, like not consistent with the typical, racial demographic of Cambly, like where it's mostly tabaxi and the occasional human spread out here. You're seeing like Kenku and rat folk and the occasional drow now just popping out from behind buildings, and they all seem to be going into this one tavern.
I guess I'll follow them in there.
Okay, so you follow them inside, and this is like a typical like shady ass bar. Like when you open up the swinging doors at the entrance, like everybody stares at you for a second.
And everyone has their own shadow corner, even if they're in the middle of the room.
Yes, everybody's brooding in their own personal shadow corner.
Can I use my aura bloodlust on the whole
But yeah,
room?
You can, but roll me a wisdom save.
Do you want to do the save first, or?
Yes, do the save before you roll the thing.
Wisdom save.
You match, but in this case, it goes to the attacker. So as you go to try and activate the bloodlust, you get in the back of your mind the memory of Gar basically holding you up by the throat and using poison spray, and you start choking, remembering the sensation of that stuff in your throat.
Damn.
Aura of Bloodlust is now temporarily disabled until you can overcome his spell save DC.
I will do it.
Oh, I know you'll do it. It's just going to be a matter of time. And this particular use of it, no, it just triggers a traumatic memory of poison going in your lungs.
Damn, I was so close.
So basically, for flavor text, you just burst through these saloon-style doors, everybody stares at you, and you just burst into a coughing fit.
I'm looking for a courier in between my coughs.
Like, the patrons start looking around, and they just kind of, like, a lot of them just go back about their business. None of them talks to you. There's one little tiny, like, halfling-sized black tabaxi in the back that just flips you the middle finger.
I'm gonna try one more time with the Aura of Bloodlust. Just because Jura is stubborn.
Oh,
It's
you're
not
gonna
gonna work.
you're gonna try the aura again?
Just one more time, so let's get the save.
Yep, wisdom save.
Oh my god, he actually did it, the madman.
Oh snap!
Yeah, a 19. Okay, so you managed to overcome it. And this time, like, the ones closest to the door are actually like, oh shit, okay. And the little black tabaxi very slowly, very cautiously lowers the middle finger and goes back to what she was doing.
Once again, I'm looking
And there's
for
a
courier.
the drow, like, there's a drow sitting close to the door. If you want somebody like that, you may want to try over there. He points to the right of the bar, and there's one dude, a kenku in a black cloak, just kind of sitting alone at a table.
Well, I will sit next to him and say, "Are you Gar's courier?"
Oh, I'm a courier.
Did you or did you not?
You have anything to fence?
I
Do you
just
have anything to fence? Give me the goods.
give me my hammer and you'll live.
What does your hammer look like?
It was an enchanted warhammer.
That's great. I still need to know what it looks like, because if I'm going to go on a fucking manhunt for this thing, I need to know what it looks like, how much I'm going to charge you. It's a whole to-do. You can't just walk up and ask me for shit. I'm a courier, not an obtainer.
Am I gonna have to? I just used my aura bloodlust on this whole room. You need me to do it to you specifically to give me the answers I need?
Do the wisdom one more time. It's gonna be a little bit before that trauma wears off.
Can it be with advantage then at this point?
Yeah. Either way, no dice.
Mm.
So you start having the coughing fit again in front of him.
Look, I'm very busy, and I have actual clients waiting here. If you had your shit stolen, you might want to go and, I don't know, maybe put in with the town guard.
Alright, so while he's doing this, I'm gonna wrap my tail around and put the blade near his throat. Just give me the answers I need.
As soon as you do that, everybody in the bar stands up.
I just want my hammer, and then I will leave. I just had this conversation with Gar.
The Kengu's expression doesn't shake. Your tail around his neck. He's still looking.
Look, I don't know where it is. You can't even describe it to me. You say it's an enchanted warhammer. Great. Do you know how many of those pass through here?
How much gold do you
With that-
want to give me the answer I need?
Okay, I see you're clearly not a mental giant, so let me spell this out for you nice and slow. I cannot give you answers that I don't know!
Did you deliver for Gar today?
Like, a month and a half ago was my last contract for him.
God damn it, you're still not the courier I'm
I
looking
had to
for.
go all the way to Falial to get the contract. What is this about God?
He said he wasn't the courier in the very beginning.
He said he was a courier.
Yeah, he said he's a courier.
Yeah, so he didn't answer my question then, so I had to get my answers. So he's still not the courier I'm looking for.
No.
I withdraw my tail and
You
I
could
leave.
ask if he knows who it is.
This is not going to go well. This is one bad day.
Do you know of any other couriers in town that have delivered for Gar today?
Not in this tavern.
Do you know of one in another tavern, perhaps?
None come to mind.
Then I withdraw my tail and I leave. I say, apologies, sir. And leave.
Mhm. He sits back down and with one of his feet scoots his box, like sort of between his shins.
What's that box?
Things that aren't your enchanted warhammer that I would really rather not lose.
If you can give me a peek, then I will leave. I just want to be sure.
Persuasion with disadvantage. Hmm. 15's a bound. He leers at you for a second, and then again with his foot, this is a... I guess the box would be just wide enough, like just barely wide enough to accommodate a warhammer if you laid it in diagonally. He slides it out, like sort of towards you, so when he opens it, the contents would be facing you. With his, with the claws on his toes, he undoes the latch and pries it open. It's a bunch of papers, what look like a couple of jars of, ground up gold and silver dust, and a couple other miscellaneous items that it looks like he's delivering for other people. Your warhammer isn't in here.
Alright. I had to be sure. I'm leaving now for good. Goodbye. Good luck.
He slams the chest shut and brings it back to where it was. And now the entire bar, most of them still standing, are watching you very, very closely as you leave.
Well, that was a misadventure to nothing.
Got a box of ducks out of it if you still want to go for that.
No, I left it at the door. I didn't want the ducks.
No, you left it where it dropped.
No, I
No, he actually
No,
said that he
carried
picked it up.
with him.
yeah,
I guess I didn't hear that. So
I left that box
Yeah,
of
he
ducks.
said it. He just
with
left it at the guy's doorstep.
okay, so you brought it back to the chick that was running them.
Yeah. When I followed her to presumably her house, I left it at the door.
Okay, cool beans.
There goes the OP Warhammer.
Yeah, there goes that. I
Yeah,
guess
I was
We could
hoping-
probably still recover it in other ways. I mean,
Because I actually have it written down for the perceptions. A 17 or above would have pointed you to the courier that was holding the hammer. 13 to 16 would have taken you in a different direction. 9 to 12 gave you the toy runner with the ducks, and anything 8 and lower, you would have just found a random person who didn't have anything.
I guess I go back to the ship. There goes my warhammer.
So there was a chance.
don't worry, you still have a charisma monkey on the team who can probably hunt it down. Later. I got the
Technically 2 charisma monkeys.
And now Jura's mission becomes to find his hammer
I have to find a new weapon now. My best weapon's
And
gone.
beat Gardner.
across the 7 seas.
So that if he took all my weapons,
It's probably back in Vernal.
that takes away my great axe. That takes away my hammer.
It takes away your axe and your hammer. You still have the spear.
There's a lance.
Isn't it Lance?
Spear, lance, yeah. Okay, but either way, you still have that.
Not happy about it. I
Yes.
guess I go
So
back
don't,
to the ship because that's all I can do now.
Yeah, so don't delete your attack options for the other two, but obviously you can't use them just yet.
Well, for now.
Well, I'm back on the ship, so that ends that.
Okay, then yeah, I guess you would just wait it out for the part.
That's all I can really do.
Yeah, so. Oh. So after after you guys have done your stuff, a few hours have passed. One of Nikos's deckhands, like a little tiny, like calico tabaxi, kind
Wait,
of
I
goes.
assume I got my potions, right?
Oh yes. You went back and he gave you two poisons of petrification.
Poisons of petrification. Okay.
Yes, you have
And
two
I
of
still
those.
have my other
So
action.
somebody immune to poisons is not going to be affected.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I forgot we glossed over your second thing, MJ.
Yeah, which I think we've technically already covered in previous stuff.
Yeah, you and I have talked about it. If you want to tell them what you were doing.
So I've just been, looking for more power from the dark gods and vampires and stuff.
Of course.
I mean, normal things, normal girl things.
To be fair, in this universe, it probably is normal.
Okay, so I would say you have because it was the prayer supplies you bought, right?
Yep, I prayed to the dark gods and
Okay.
vampires. And stuff.
Yeah. So you cast a little prayer to the goddess of darkness. Roll me
Religion.
a religion with advantage, actually, because
Alright.
you would have you went out of your way. You bought all the stuff. You know how her stuff works.
Yeah. 16.
Okay, with a 16, you feel that, like, obviously you don't hear, like, a voice in your head or anything, you're not a cleric, but you can very clearly feel that something heard and acknowledged the prayer. And as you ask for power, the box that had the tobacco pipe in it,
Mhm.
it falls off your nightstand, and the pipe itself spins a little bit, almost like a game of spin the bottle, and the pointed end, like where the mouthpiece is, points east of where you currently.
I'm gonna go up on deck and kind of see if there's like another ship directly to our east or something
Yeah,
like that.
as you pick this thing up, it's
Mhm.
still, like, as you turn it in your hand, it's acting like a compass. So it's hovering about half an inch above the palm of your hand, still pointing east.
I'm going to attempt to follow it.
Because it takes you towards the edge of the ship, and it's pointing out into the ocean to the east of you.
Well, to Crescent Cove it is. Hey, Captain.
Yes.
After we get done with this, want to head over to Crescent Cove? I've got a little bit of a side job I need to do there, and I'll make it worth your while.
Good, like sharing.
At this point, the pipe has stopped floating and stopped pointing. She's just holding it back.
She kind of just holds her tobacco pipe and kind of tobacco pipe and kind of looks at it. Well, would you mind going into your quarters, since I know plenty about you, but I guess it's only fair that I share a little bit about myself.
All right.
And she'll drag him into there, close the door, and, like, she's gonna actually check to see if anyone's listening, because she expects someone is listening, because that's what she'd do when seeing the captain walking along with someone.
Perception.
14.
I mean,
with
I'm
a
the
14.
captain, and if he's gonna be doing this, if she's gonna be doing this, I'm probably gonna want to make sure of my own.
No, I'd say then yeah, roll perception as well. 17. Okay. No, since this is the latter half of y'all's actions, most of your crew, I think everyone except Nikit, who decided to hang out and kind of watch the gangplank, they're all in the galley eating what Ayame made.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
So she
they
kind
all.
of leans against one of the walls and looking across at you. So, I guess I should tell you that my name is Charia Arapath, and I believe I've already gone over that before, but I was part of a royal drow family at one point. Unfortunately, mother was not exactly, how should we say, close to the tenets of the other drow families, and because I am a what they'd call a mutt, half breed, I'm half human.
Because I've raised an eyebrow at this.
Father was an adventurer, boned and left.
Hmm.
And, well, the other families more or less contrived up some reasons and attempted and burned my entire family to the ground to kill everyone.
Leaving you an only child.
Leaving
An orphan
me
at that.
leaving me an only child, orphan, assassin. Yes. That's why I was on the boat in the first place. When we first met, I was on the run. Because,
Well,
well,
that's all fine and dandy, but what does this have to do with heading all over to Crescent Cove?
well, I'm working on assembling a group of like-minded people to, how shall we say, give the Tekkenveer family a barbecue. Barbecue them? That's close enough. I plan to rip the structure that they've set up wrongly and burn them to the ground and replace and put the Arba family back where it's supposed to be. And to do so requires something in Crescent Cove.
Mm-hmm. Nothing you're going to share, though. I take it.
I will say it requires a meeting with the pirate.
Interesting. I'll at least consider it for the meantime, but right now, we have a parley we need to be getting to, and
Of course, I was
Did,
not going
did
to say
anyone else? Did anyone else besides Thalia? Because I'm pretty sure Nikos told all of you guys that League and Girin were going to be there in spirit, right?
I think so.
Okay, so you know that the pirate lord you're talking about is gonna be here.
yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah, part of me was considering
she's much more. She doesn't expect
this parley is
anything to go
not the
perfectly
place to
here.
be talking about this.
Well, you can pull her aside afterwards.
Oh yes, but she's very. Chari is very much a in the flesh type of person.
Makes sense.
She'll probably attempt to set up a meeting or something. But yeah, but of course I did not mean we run out right now and leave everyone high and dry and miss the fun of the parlay and what that might
Yeah,
be.
I get the feeling we're gonna have our hands full quite a bit.
If he attempts to do anything, don't worry, I've got hold of person on standby. But that is, of
Regardless,
course, all I'm going to share of my background to you right now, and all of what I'm going to be telling you about for my personal mission. But I think it's only fair that I pay you a little bit back for the.
Subterfuge.
I wouldn't call it subterfuge. I'd call it information gathering.
Call it whatever you like.
Oh, Kazad, roll me history real quick.
Sure. Oh God, come on!
Wow.
Both the best and worst outcome
Well,
in one
that's
roll.
polarizing. If it was advantage, you would have known, hey, okay, I get it. Underdark type, they do this all the time.
Yeah,
With a one,
I know literally nothing.
You confused it with another race.
with a one, you were like, this half drow tried to kill me, and her wooden duck tried to finish the job.
But she goes, Underdark habits, I shall say. It's probably why I've been very good on the crew in making sure that we don't die horribly.
Speaking of dying horribly, we have a parlay to be heading to, and I believe we are both in agreement that something's going to be a bit difficult with this.
I'll keep an eye on him as usual, Captain.
Keep an eye on him. I was thinking of just leaving him behind.
Do you really think Jura's gonna be left behind after what happened?
After what happened, I hope he would at least understand why. And honestly, I want to
That's
see him be a bit of...
no offense to Jura. He is a very strong warrior,
Absolutely. Nobody's questioning that.
but getting things is not exactly his forte.
Unfortunately,
But yes,
that is the part that concerns me.
don't worry. I have several plans, and that if it does come to something bad, we shouldn't have to kill him. But
We shouldn't, but do give him fair heads up that if he does anything remotely stupid, there are going to be some big consequences for him.
yep.
Yeah, you both know that if there's any violence or threat thereof at an official sanctioned parlay, the pirate lords are going to take it out of your ass.
Oh, Jura is going to be taking it all right.
And that's all of you, everyone in the crew, not just Jura.
No, I mean, like, I'm
Unless-
going to be taking it out on him just to, like, try to get him back into good graces.
Yeah.
That is a thing.
Yep.
It's straight up written in the code. That is a thing you can do.
Yeah, he's going to be made an example of right then and there.
But yes, Captain, I do think we should gather up the people who want to go to the parlay and get there a little bit early.
Yeah, let's head off now. The sooner we get there, the sooner we can be over with this.
I'll go check to see if anyone on the. Actually, do you want me to grab anyone specific besides the usual group of us?
I imagine Nikit will want to make an appearance here. Other than that, whoever feels like coming.
All right, I will send the. I'll let them know down in the mess hall. I'll let you be the first one there.
Maybe Sebastian too.
Oh yeah, I was just gonna invite everyone.
Yeah.
Well, you can't bring everybody. I'll say I got to limit you to 2 people.
Okay.
Yeah,
Then,
whoever feels like coming, basically.
So probably Nikit and then first.
I would say
Isabel.
Nikit and Sebastian probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because
I can-
Okazad, you would have remembered from the few you sat in with Arnis, the pirate lords, or at least the ones that are there in person, will each have their 2 main attendants. So bringing any more than 2 people, like obviously, you know, the entirety of the party will be permitted, but any more than 2 people will be viewed as kind of like why do you need that many people?
Yeah, that's fair. So probably Nikki and Sebastian make the most sense for this.
All right. So I'd say y'all gather up. It's aboard the Chance meeting, so Nikos' ship, and you all go. You see that there's already some bustle going on the other side of the doors to Nikos' cabin. Like there's some conversation going on in there.
Yeah, Okazai's just gonna knock to see if everything's all set.
You hear Nikos' voice kind of muffled.
Who is it?
This would be the captain of the IV.
Ah, Okazad. Yes, please enter.
Obviously, opening up the doors and just letting everyone inside.
Right. So there's a bit to unpack here. Because you didn't see the large, muscular Viashino that was guarding Gar's ship, but he is there. Like, obviously, Gar is on one side of this large round table. Nikos has set up this large, this giant round table with a red runner going from where he is sitting, like at the end of the room, to the door. Gar is seated sort of to Nikos' left, so his right if you're looking at him. And he is flanked on both sides, one by a very muscular Viashino gentleman, and on the other side by, let me find her picture, by this woman. So you're looking at a Komodo dragon lizard folk, very much like Nikita.
I
But
was about to say very much like Nikit.
yeah, like as you guys walk in, like she notices him specifically.
Good evening, Nikit. Ulela, always nice to see you, sister.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. And then, so Gar is sitting there to Nikos' left at him. There's a small, sort of perch, almost like a Deadlock. You specifically are getting coat rack images coming to your mind.
Shut it.
But perched on top of that is Hermes. League's falcon pseudo dragon, and you notice as you look at this bird or pseudo dragon, I guess, one of his eyes is like the normal like amber color you would expect from a peregrine falcon. His other eye is the same kind of teal blue that League's are, and it was not like that the last time you saw this creature.
Would I know it's League's?
You would recognize it. You would recognize it, yeah.
But I mean, would I know that League is like looking through it?
As you're looking at the bird and as the bird is looking at you, you get in the back of your mind, you can't hear the words, but you get it like in the back of your head that something is welcoming you. And the presence that you're feeling in your mind, it feels like Captain League, even though he's not here.
Ah, Captain League. Good to see you again, inner spirit.
Yeah, you're now getting the feeling in the back of your head of just like warm, welcoming feelings.
Is that all of us or just him?
All of you. Like, you're all basically hearing it. Because pseudo-dragons, they have this thing where if they form a bond with a humanoid person, they can act as kind of like a sensory projection over long distances. They can't convey actual verbal, words or anything, but they can convey thoughts and ideas.
Yeah, that
I was just asking so if Thalia knew that bird was.
Yeah, you're all getting the welcome, hello, good to see you, and you can all feel in the back of your mind, okay, it's League projecting himself through this pseudo-dragon.
Okay, well, I'm gonna go stand over by the bird.
And finally, then you would have to pass through the final guest, because to the left of Hermes, looking at him, you notice it's about maybe tip to tip, maybe 2 feet in diameter. You notice a strange, one-eyed, almost jellyfish-looking creature
What the hell?
just floating in the air, and its eye turns to look at you.
I'm gonna cautiously walk past it.
What kind of check would it be to identify this? Arcana, if it's a magical creature.
I mean,
history,
imagine
religion.
it would be history or something.
This would be either, Arcana or History, whichever is your better feature.
Well, I mean,
Okay, with a 15, the feel you're getting off of this thing is hellish, like fiendish, demonic.
Alright, so that is definitely a religion kind of thing.
Yeah, you can get a feel for what that is. If you want to try again with religion, you can maybe get a feel for what exactly this thing is.
Yeah. So, 21. Blackjack.
21, you can't tell what kind of fiend this is specifically. You can feel this thing just bursting with, hellish energy, but you can at least glean that whatever this is, it's probably acting as a similar sensory projection for probably Girin that Hermes is doing for League. But as you all get in now and the door closes behind you, that jellyfish thing, it's got a sort of orangish amber eye normally. As it regards you guys, you hear a voice emanate from it.
Well, I wasn't aware that Captain Nico's had so many friends.
I bow politely.
It takes one of its tentacles, like the 2 upper ones, and it kind of folds it over the eye and sort of leans forward.
Pleasure to make your acquaintance. My name is Corson. I view for Captain Girin.
And you see the amber eye now changes from amber to a bright, icy steel blue.
Yes, but he doesn't speak for me. No, I'm perfectly capable of doing that myself.
If we Captain Okazad and the crew of the Ivy, we've been helping out in the area and we have been invited.
Yes, I've heard of you. Quite a few good things. Some need of your services once we're all done here.
We will be free to talk about that, of course, after the parley.
Right. And then finally, y'all's attention draws to Nikos himself. And you can't help but notice he's kind of abandoned the carefree, like, sort of thief persona that he had before. This dude is now full decked the fuck out pirate lord mode.
Yeah, I'm just like looking at this and just like, okay, this is about to go down.
Yeah, like shit has gotten serious. Like, actually it took me a while to, like, come up with a cool, menacing, almost Zorro-looking outfit for him. But, like, he's sitting there, he's flanked by Eliza and Patrice on his sides. Gar's got, Ulela was the Komodo dragon's name, and the Viashino, whose name none of you bothered to ask for. And Hermes is by himself, and Corson is by himself, so these two don't have any attendants with them. But as y'all get settled in, like, Nikos has some chairs already prepared for you guys.
So,
Can I
shall we
stand
get
over
down
by
to
Hermes?
business?
Yes, you can stand by Hermes if you want to.
Okay, good. I pet him on the head because he's very cute.
He does like that bird thing where it's or like what birds and cats do, where they sort of just close their eyes and go with it.
Could I whisper something to him that only he would hear?
Yes.
Like, for real, only he would hear?
Depends if anyone else would be overhearing it.
Roll sleight of hand with advantage.
Mm-hmm. 23.
23. Yeah, I'd say that would escape pretty much everybody's passive perception.
Okay, then I whisper to him, "You're a father."
Now, all of you, the party and the other pirate lords, are, for just the briefest moment, greeted in the back of your mind by just a feeling of just utter shock and surprise.
I kind of glance over to the only person who's been doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's only for a split second, and then it just goes completely back to what normally happened. But you see, Thalia, the blue eye, looks at you, like regards you for a moment, and then flits back to the matter at hand. Like, okay, we'll discuss this later.
Well,
Okay.
you got the attention of probably most of the room there for a second.
That's fine.
Pretty much, like Nikos, Gar, and Corson's eye are all looking over at Hermes too.
Like, should we be worried about that?
I just smile and wave.
Yeah, and Hermes
It's
is
fine.
now conveying the mental idea of no, everything's fine, just proceed as normal. So, like, Nikos sort of sits up straight. He's got his hands his hands folded, fingers interlaced.
It's like, first off, I'd like to welcome you all to tonight's parlay. It's my first time doing this, so I'll try not to mess any of this up. First of all, I would like to thank our associate, Captain Gar, for bringing us all together.
And Gar sort of nods his head. Jura, you specifically noticed that he's got a large satchel of gold hanging off of his belt.
Why am I noticing this? Wait a second. Oh, I'm just gonna look at him and cough. Just like a fake cough, but glaring at him super hard. Just
He waves.
I should have held on to one of the little ducks.
now responding to what Nico said, like he nods.
Well, I'm glad that you were all able to show up, or in the case of Captains League and Carmilla, at least be here in your own special way. None of you were forced.
He looks over to Jura very, very quickly before returning his gaze back to the rest of the table.
Now, Captain Gar, perhaps you could enlighten us as to what it is that's brought us together here. I'll be frank with you, I've noticed quite a lot of naval activity in recent weeks. Specifically, I've noticed that the High Commodores seem to be making a lot of movement in the South Seas lately.
And now he turns to address you guys.
Captain Okazad, I don't suppose you or anyone in your crew would know anything about this.
Down here in the South Seas? No. Can confirm that there is some activity happening up in the North Seas, but as to what? No, we do not know.
Can I make a check for anything going on?
Yeah, I guess that would be a history, but I got to impose disadvantage since that wouldn't have been information you were actively searching for.
Yeah. Yeah. Nah, 6.
I suppose I could make a quick roll just to see if I know anything.
Yeah, go for it.
It was a
18.
20. Nice.
Okay, with an 18, you have heard, you've heard stories of them, running around doing something that was at least the reason that Arnes told you to go and investigate them in the first place. But offhand, you haven't heard anything in the South Seas. Obviously, you met Evalier, and she's one of the 4 High Commodores who have a little bit of jurisdiction in the South. But she didn't, neither her nor any of her people let loose anything about, the greater naval agenda. So if there was movement, at least here on the South Front, you wouldn't know what it was or what they were after.
So all we know is that, what I know is that they're looking for something.
Yeah, you know that they're probably looking for something, but from what Gar's telling you, all of them, the ones in the South at least, they are all moving towards something.
The only thing I can tell you, Lord Gar, is that they're looking for something. What it is, I'm not so sure, but if it's enough to have all 8 High Commodores looking for them, this is not going to be something to take it lightly.
Well, obviously not. But that is information I didn't previously have. I figured they were planning an attack or something, but if they're looking for something, that might actually be even worse. And I don't suppose any of the others,
He now looks to Sebastian and Nikit,
have heard anything either. I mean, you two, or at the very least you, Mr. Ash, you used to be Navy, right?
Let me roll something for him right quick. History, which Sebastian does not get proficiency in. Oh, with a 20, though.
No, Lord Gar. I can only convey what I overheard from Captain Evalier Elwood and her crew. But she was as tight-lipped as always. She didn't let anything slip. I would imagine your assumption is that Captain Okazal's assumption is accurate, and they are in search of something. I doubt what with the 8th being the 8th that the Navy would risk an outright attack on us. Well, that's a fair assumption. Then I suppose the purpose of this parley would be to compare notes and try to figure out exactly what it is that these people are after.
And as he says that, you guys, it waits for a little bit because Hermes, obviously, you all get the idea of just drawing a blank or a lack of knowledge, conveying that League has no idea what they could be after. And Coruscant, both Coruscant and Giran, both kind of agree with that.
Well, I haven't heard anything in Crescent Cove. Then again, I've also had my hands a little bit full with my own problem down here.
You always were one to handle your own problems first.
Oh, come off it, Gar. You know I'm just as committed to the cause as you, but this is something that can't be overlooked.
Right. But if the Commodores are moving around, we need all hands on deck for this.
I agree. That's why I sent Corson in my stead. I would like to be invested in this, if you'll let me.
Of course. Heaven knows I wouldn't exclude your highness.
Oh, do shut up.
Lord Gar, if I may ask, do we have any idea of their movements currently? A map of where they've been and going?
By and large, from what I've seen, it's been a bunch of sailing amongst themselves. Ships from Mahad or Iron Island going to Rowan-Astor and Crystal Cape and back. It's been a bunch of movement, a lot more so than usual and a lot more, with a lot less space in between.
Can I attempt to roll insight to try and, figure something out from my days of wandering around of things that might have caused the Navy to go in an uproar before?
Would I
Uh,
know anything of anything similar happened in the North Seas?
That would be. I'll let you go ahead with insight, MJ, and deadlock. That would be a history on your part.
Yeah, that's a 26.
God fucking damn it.
Give me the
Of course they
plot,
did
Mr.
bad.
Okay, Okazad, you haven't heard of any pirate activity in the North Seas, but then again,
Pirate.
or naval activity in the North Seas, but then again, you also know that between Jewel, Shem, Arnes, and the Eighth, the Navy is very hard pressed to make any direct moves up there. Because the people up there are a lot more, I guess, trigger happy than the pirate lords in the South, especially Arnes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Eighth is the main reason that the Navy doesn't actively attack the pirate lords in the first place. But with the 26 in insight, or with the nat 20 in insight, you remember through your time like traveling back and forth through the various Underdarks with Vaskira back when she was still alive. You remember that there are several, I guess, old, very ancient city-states. They're actually the cause of a lot of archaeological stir. They sit beneath the ocean floor, and there are several of them that you have overheard could potentially be the seat of ancient weapons or magic or something of potentially great value. You're figuring if they're looking for anything in the South Seas, obviously shy of the Pirate King's artifact, it would probably be tied to one of those.
Well, if I thinking back to my times before getting on the Ivy, maybe they're looking for the undersea cities. You know, those old city-states where they are rumored to have magical powers and weapons and basically everything to draw an adventurer's eye and possibly a desperate navy's hand.
Like, Nico sort of regards you with a serious look and then nods.
That might actually make sense. It was in one of those undersea settlements, one of the more shallow ones anyway, that we originally found our first lead for the subspace magic that Lucian was delving into.
That was just in one of the more shallow areas.
Right. We don't currently have the means, or I could acquire the means, we just don't have them on hand at the moment, to hit the deeper ones. I can't even imagine what's down there. But if
Probably the fact that no one's come back up from it if they have gone down there, or the fact that it's still rumors and mystery as what's down there. Probably nothing healthy to most people.
Corsan's eye flashes back to Amber.
Oh no, it's a lot of shit that will kill you.
Thank you, Corsan. But that is possibly what they're looking into, trying to narrow down the locations of some of the deeper ones. Maybe thinking the Pirate King's the Pirate King's weapon, you know, she says with, you know, giant air quotes, is in one of them.
Like, you get
possibly
Well, there hasn't been much exploring going on down there. To get to just one of the deeper ones, you would need a diving bell, and that limits your crew capacities sufficiently.
What if they weren't trying to go down with a diving bell?
The only people who could actually get down there are maybe Tritons or merfolk that happen to have physiology of some deep-dwelling sea life. It's not exactly easy, and even if you do manage to get down there, that says nothing about the things that don't want you in their home.
traps, guardians. If there's subspace magic in just one of the shallow ones, I'm willing to bet sentient creatures alive.
To say the least.
Well, what if they're... Well, most of the Navy, unfortunately, I do not think has deep-sea physiology. Maybe they're looking for a different way, and one that doesn't require a diving bell. Either maybe through a secret entrance through one of the Underdark caverns, or maybe they're building something else to get a bigger crew down there.
Well, if there was a way...
Or, no, this would be Nico's.
Well, if there was a way to these kinds of places through the Underdark caverns, my contacts would have made me aware of it by now.
They could be making their own.
Now that's definitely a scary thought.
A desperate group willing to do anything to defeat their enemies.
And as you say that, you hear like echoing through the entire space.
Oh, please. Just how desperate do you think we...
And now you notice, like, on the wall behind of the wall, and from the light, like almost like from the Teen Titans opening, like crawling out of that light, and now standing in front of you is this woman.
That is
Standing about very different from the puddle of light on the wall. The what?
I was gonna say that's a very shiny blade.
Yeah, like as the puddle closes behind her, you see she's holding a very large scythe that she kind of spins around and digs into the floor behind her and sits on the pole part, like crosses one leg over the other and just kind of cradles her chin with her hand.
You don't seriously think that we would start just blowing up random parts of the Underdark to get under sea, now do you?
Charya kind of shrugs.
Oh no, like you look around, every fucking pirate lord in this room is now on edge.
Oh yeah, no, Charya is actually gripping her switchblade right now, but she's not actually moving. Charya just shrugs and goes, "Well, some of you aren't the brightest."
Well, this woman holds up her hand, like obviously signaling them to, just calm the fuck down.
And she goes, "Now, there's no need for that kind of
She looks at Gar specifically.
violence. This is an official parley, is it not?"
And as soon as she says that, like you can hear, like you can practically feel the anger coming off of Gar.
So tell me then, to what is it that we owe the pleasure, if you want to call it that, of having an admiral at our seats?
Oh, Admiral, hardly. My name is Lieutenant Commander Xena Atara.
I'd like to roll a history check.
Go for it.
I'd like to declare a guard and say this would be a good time for my hammer.
Based on the name doesn't ring a bell, but based on how she's carrying herself and the power she's displayed, you can bank she's probably pretty powerful.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Wow.
history. Actually, I'm gonna see if any of the pirate lords know who that
I'll
is.
throw my hat in
What
the
about
ring.
me for a 17?
Oh yeah, I
Wait,
went
with
off the chat for a
advantage?
second.
Was it with the
Yeah,
vantage?
she gets
Oh, yeah.
history for. Or
I always get advantage because I'm older.
yeah. You remember that you overheard in your travels that there used to be a High Commodore based in Mahad named Captain Elsam, but he was killed recently, like a few months ago, by the pirate lord Shamaram Shem up in where the hell is Shem from? Up in Okarthel. There was a battle between those two, and it ultimately ended with Captain Elsam being. You remember the name as the High Commodore who replaced him in Mahad.
What's one from the Southern Seas doing all the way up that far north?
Oh, well, you see, I'm sort of a special classification. I'm based out of Mahad, but my real specialty is information gathering. And as it would so happen, a lot of information has presented itself recently.
What are you talking about? We've kept our mouths shut. We wouldn't even think of giving information to the Navy.
No, but when one
She like fixes her gaze on.
hears that there's been a stirring in the High Commodores and starts running around between the South Islands like a chicken with his head cut off, we tend to take notice. In other words, Captain Gar, you can't go around Rennie knowing about it.
Well, if I'm between the two, yes, this is a parlay, but do note that you should follow our rules here. I as, as strong as you are, because well, you're obviously strong. I
Oh, of
don't
course.
know how well 2 pirate lords plus 2 others.
To give you peons a fighting chance.
Fighting chance for
Not
what?
to spend.
You see, your original assumption was correct. We did find something in the undersea, something of vast arcane power that we're currently in the process of researching and trying to get our hands.
So why tell?
Well, it wouldn't be as fun if it were just. We don't think it's the Pirate Lord's artifact per se. Certainly, we wouldn't tell you if we did. But it is something that could potentially turn the tables. And frankly, the High Commodore that they've put in charge of it's signed a little competition.
I'm assuming that is yourself.
The Admiral, unfortunately, has me on other assignments. Otherwise, I would gladly take up the mission. No, this one, she looks back at Commander Jabriath Colwall will be leading this.
What?
Sorry, it kind of turns back.
Oh no, you like his like the one hand guard clenched so tight he's bleeding on Nikos' table.
Oh, I'm sorry, Captain Guard. Did that touch a nerve? By all means, feel free to follow him down there if you like. I'm sure he'd be more than content for a rematch. You know, even up your other arm.
Yeah, Okazaw's eyes are a bit wide now at hearing that.
George
Well, you
just
notice
laughs.
Gar, his left. Yeah, Gar, like his entire left arm has been in a sling since you met him. And you notice it's shorter than an average forearm would be. He's missing at least his left hand.
I just laugh.
Well then, if you're willing to tell us all of this, I don't suppose you'd hand out the location too.
Oh, of course I would.
She stands up and she twirls the scythe. Like, obviously she's spinning like a large weapon around indoors, but she's doing it with such finesse that she's managing to avoid all of you. She reaches it up over her head and she slams it down on the table. The point of the scythe digs into the map where she's like, or digs into the map on the areas right between Vernal and Phaleol, that little archipelago there. She digs it up there, she takes out the scythe.
I believe you'll find us operating here during the mission.
About where I expected it. Well, in that case, if you don't mind me asking, do you have... were you here to share anything else, or... Because I do wish to, I don't wish to keep you here for too long. You seem to be a very busy woman.
Oh, well, aren't you courteous? Thank you. No.
This is an official parlay, of course.
It is, and you're handling it spectacularly. But no, I just wanted to give you all a fighting chance. Heaven knows Commander Colwall wouldn't let me live it down if I let him go there and have an easy time of it.
And Shari is going to kind of turn to the rest of them and send kind of the mental thought to,
Hermes.
yeah, Hermes, you know, does anyone else have any other questions they'd like to ask the Lieutenant Commander?
Like, there's no real thought coming from Hermes other than just like the constant like blaring like a siren in the back of your mind, like on guard, like obviously like
Yeah, Okazawa is not falling for this. He believes very much that this is screaming trap.
I mean, if you want to roll insight on,
Oh, I'm going to roll insight. Because
No, I need to. I need to for my own sanity.
15.
How did I get a 4? Come on!
Yeah,
It's because I rolled before you.
with that 4, yeah, with the 4s, Okazad, because of your time being raised by Arnes, and Thalia, because of your attraction to League, and your
Jesus.
so far just outright detestment of Evelier, you have it in your mind the High Commodores can't be trusted. Like, what angle is this bitch playing?
Exactly. What is this
But-
bitch trying to do to my man?
I joined the force as well.
But Charia, yeah, you're figuring like you're just unable to get a beat on this chick. She's looking at you with that blasé facial expression. You cannot get a read on her.
He's still distracted by Gar.
Yeah. That'll be it. You're basically like, ooh, she said something that pissed Gar off.
Yeah.
But Charia, from what you can understand, Xena's got no reason to bullshit you guys. From what you can understand, she's actually on the level about this. Actually, from how gleefully she sort of explained it, it's almost like she'd be disappointed if the pirates didn't show up.
And she's gonna kind of lean back and go, well, it doesn't seem like you're lying. Of course, well, no offense, but trusting the Navy is not exactly our first notion.
Oh no, of course not.
But
But I'll give you this. 1, Commander Colwall doesn't mind a little bit of competition. And 2, while I obviously would never, like she puts her hands together, never threaten violence or carry it out during a parley, if some of you happen to follow Colwall down there and just never come back up, well, that's just all the better for us now, isn't it?
two-edged sword. He wants a little bit of a fight, and we're stuck in a situation where we, of course, are somewhat needed to come after you.
That is the idea.
She says with sort of like a wry smile, like her lips curl into a smirk. Like, yeah, that's basically what I had planned.
And so Charia shrugs and goes, she's got no reason to lie right now. If she wanted to lie to just get us off the trail, she could have literally said anywhere. But the fact that she's giving us so much information, I think there's a little bit of truth.
Or she just wants us dead.
I think that's the part of the truth, is she wants us to go there and fight the High Commodore and die there.
Yeah, like from what you're able to glean, she wants you, and like specifically Gar's people, to go down after them, so Commander Colwall and his people will win the fight. Like, it's, from what you can see, she's actually giving you a fair chance, but her money is on Commander Colwall.
Well, is there anything else you'd like to tell us, or any other questions the Pirate Lords would like to ask? And she kind of motions to the other ones.
Nothing else I'm cleared to, and from what I've been eavesdropping, that answers pretty much all the questions this parlay was assembled to answer, right?
And like, as soon as she says that, both, like, you can see both Nikos and Gar kind of bare their teeth at her.
Well, I feel like I've outstayed my welcome. I suppose I'll bid you all adieu here.
She taps the scythe to the ground, another puddle of light opens up on the ground, and she slowly sinks into it.
I'm sure I'll meet you all again at some point. Maybe
Real
the
quick.
She's like, she stops sinking for a moment and turns to you.
You wouldn't happen to know what became of an admiral that's been sent to Vernal, have you? I'm sorry, High Commodore.
Oh, you must mean Evelier. Let me see.
She's tapping her chin.
Evelier, what happened to her? Oh, right. Well, when she came back from Vernal without any proof of death for that necromancer that had managed to escape Estria, all the Admiral had to go on was that she was working with a pirate lord for a little while. So she's been put on administrative leave.
Basically, they've benched Evelier for the moment. She's suspended.
She's currently on
Makes sense.
She's currently on a forced vacation in Mahad, where my people are keeping an eye on her.
Well, tell her
Well,
we
tell
said
your
hi.
superior or whoever that necromancer is very much dead. Kind of also with the people who ended up putting her in an early grave.
Oh, really?
Yep. I kind of wave and kind of motion to the Ivy crew, and then over to Rain
Well-
or Thalia.
Well, let me see, because she actually is pretty good at this.
Yeah, she's pretty
With
garbage.
a nat 1, even with her impressive
Huh?
fucking stats.
What the hell?
What are you
No,
giving these
like,
people?
dude,
Damn.
the pirate. No, like I told you, the pirate lords and the high commodores are no fucking joke. They are like late game enemies if you decide to
Plus
cross.
17. What?
And she's well. Okay, here's the thing. She's got plus 17 because she's got some dips either into Bard or Rogue. I'm venturing Rogue with some levels in Wizard or Sorcerer.
I will say this: all of the NPCs I made, unless you guys specifically like interject some kind of story thing that makes them, are not cross class or not.
Multi-classed.
Yeah, they're not multi-classed.
Okay, that was just my assumption.
Yeah,
I
so
can
for,
assume things.
yeah, so she has expertise, so you can imagine she's at least a bard or a rogue.
Probably Bard then. But
yeah, with that insight, she's not believing you.
And I don't suppose you have anything that proves that you dealt with her?
I pull out the book from that I
he has
had
gloves.
from her thing.
Dur just outs Ogazadi has the gloves.
Unfortunately, I left those back on the ship.
I pull out the necromancer, then reading in my spare time.
Wait, so Deadlock, you actually say that you have the gloves?
No, don't say that.
No,
Don't fucking
not
say that.
really.
Okay, just had to make sure because that's kind of a
No, no, no.
yeah,
Bad Ogazad.
that's kind of a hot item with these guys right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But
So
I,
you
I do
show
hold
her-
up the book.
Okay, so you show her Leanne's journal.
Yep. I show her Leanne's journal and I open it to show like a signature on one of the pages with one hand. If this isn't a certificate of death, well, you can always check for the bloody spot in one of the temples.
Like she looks at it.
Well, this is proof that you're able to steal something at any rate. Where is this temple?
Let me see if I remember correctly. South Vernal, Western Peninsula, if I recall correctly.
Yes. Look for the giant pile of it's outside of it. Oh no, that was a different.
Yeah, no, that was a different chamber.
That was a different one.
That the
That
yeah
was destroyed here.
the destroyer's tomb had the bones in front of it. The actual destroyer's bears went to fight Leanne.
Yeah.
That one, it large crawled it's basically a hole in the crawl.
Yeah.
It looks like something quite large crawled out.
Specifically a undead dragon, I believe it was.
Her body rises out of the puddle of light. She snaps her fingers, and it starts sort of swirling in the opposite direction.
Then I'll head there before making my report.
And she starts sinking again.
Toodles.
It was enlightening.
And as her
Ooh.
head disappears, like pretty much, yeah, like the mood of the entire room is like holy shit. And now like Hermes and Corson are looking at Gar.
So you kind of brought her to us then?
Oh, shut up.
Now, we must not start throwing blame. God did the right thing by trying to notify us of the movements, and if we had not, then we would have not gotten this information either way.
I
do-
also wasn't expecting them to replace Captain Elsum so quickly.
Either way, though, we now know where they are, and I would like to make a suggestion on a course of movement, if I could be so bold.
Like Nikos nods.
You have the floor, Charya.
I suggest, at the bare minimum, we don't send Gar. No offense to you, sir. But it seems like they're trying to
Obviously,
bait
I
you.
move against that. I've got a score to settle with Kowal.
And they know that. They are attempting to draw you in because, well, one of them has already an advantage in fighting you. No
I
offense.
know. She was trying to bait me. And you know what? She did a
It was.
damn good job of it.
But I do suggest that we have Gar continue his observations of Navy movement, attempt to find other places where they are looking, if they are looking for other places, and we have one of the other pirate lords move in on the location.
I'll take it under consideration, but bear in mind.
And he sort of like leers at you, not with the like, not to intimidate, but like sort of just to make a point.
I follow no one's orders but my own.
Understood. I was just giving my.
Well, and then from Coruscant, you hear Girin's voice.
You definitely do what the 8th said.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yes, and begrudgingly, I do what the 8th says when they ask me to do something.
Real quick, Gar, how far away from Ahad is Philil?
From
Not too far.
No, it's not too terribly. 65 squares.
No, 13 squares.
13.
13 squares, so,
So
5
50,
times 13.
That's 65.
Yeah.
Because if one square is 5, that's literally the ruler.
Right, but each square is 5 miles.
Yeah,
Yeah,
5
but
times
each square is
13
5.
Oh,
65.
right. Yeah, I'm stupid. Okay, then yeah, 60 between 60 and 65 miles.
If you were to leave that and go diving in potentially a fight that you can end up, who's going to defend it? Especially when the giver of the news is literally the closest admiral to it.
Well, if that were true, then by that logic, the 8th would have a perfectly good chance to invade Cloudhaven if Colwall isn't there.
But either way, that was just a suggestion. Please do not take offense of it, Lord Gar.
It's a parley. You're free to speak your mind, even if I don't particularly care for it.
But we now know what they are doing, and now we know where they are doing it. So I
However,
guess the
we also
parley-
don't know what is honestly down there.
That was the next point, and I would like to switch the parlay into the hell are we going to do about that?
Kill them.
Well,
More-
unfortunately, like Captain Nico said, acquiring a diving bell is a bit of a chore,
He smirks.
normally.
Let me guess, you have access to one?
I have access to several. One of which I would be more than happy to loan if you lot decided you wanted to throw in with me.
I see what you're doing. And, Chario smirks. But at the same time, my position, at least my position stands, but I will go with what the captain does decide, as he's the captain.
I'll only go if I get my weapon back and if it keeps Gar alive.
Unfortunately, Gar, you know I'm from the Northern Seas. You probably already know my answer to that.
Still looking to take the war to those people, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Good man.
And he looks at Juro with an expression of slight surprise.
And someone sounds like they've changed their tune.
Listen, if he kills you, I can't.
Juror's tune.
And if you die, then where's the fun for me?
Fair. Perhaps there is some merit to you if you're smart enough to realize that. You might one day form a decent challenge for me after all.
Well, of course, this is an open parlay. Do any of the other pirate lords have any weigh in on the current situation?
From Hermes, you're getting like the mental image of rebuilding island,
Mm-hmm.
and Girin, like the Coruscant's eye shifts back to blue.
Well, if Gar's so gung-ho about doing this, not to sound selfish, but it does free me up to pursue my agenda. There's someone I really need to hunt down, otherwise this could be a problem, almost on par with Captain League's undead issue.
Well, depending on how soon Gar wants doing with that, we can probably help with your hunting people. We're pretty good at that.
That would be very much appreciated.
Of course.
Nico's kind of sighs and leans back in his chair.
Well, if Gar's dead set on going down there, I know I'm not going to be able to persuade him otherwise. I suppose I could take up the front trying to collect information.
Then it's settled. Then, unless there's any other notions, I believe it is settled. Captain Nikos will head up the information front. Gar and us will attempt to get down there and deal with the Commodore when Gar is ready for us to go with him. In the meantime, we will be over at we will possibly be over at Crescent Cove if that is what the captain decides. Helping the Pirate Lord with their small hunting problem, while Lee focuses on rebuilding Brno after the amount of fuckery that we saw there.
Oh, so you're actually giving me a minute before you join me.
Of course, it would only be fair to prepare fully for a conflict that could be your final.
That's very good for me. I've got some steam that I need to blow off on Kowal's people, and splintering a few of their ships while I wait for you lot to show up should be just the catharsis I need.
If you can tell me where my hammer is, I can be more useful on the field. You know, the one hammer that might have been taken by a courier, and it may have been sold. Sir.
What's this?
He flicks, like very gingerly with his free hand, he flicks the gold on his belt.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I just made a killing on a very forceful business venture. I really gave my buyer the axe, if you know what I mean.
I kind of look at Jura and see how he's actually behaving inside and go, well, Lord Gar, if there would be a way to, how shall we say,
He is the muscle of our group.
yes, he is the muscle of our group, and well, the hammer that he did have was one of his prized possessions, and I do think we could come to a deal after this. If you would be so kind.
Unfortunately, I can't go back on a sale once it's done. That would wreck my credibility.
Of
But
course not.
what I could do, if Jura were to ask really, really nicely, is while I'm mopping the floor with those Navy imbeciles, I could see if any one of them has anything particularly hard-hitting lying around.
Courier turns to Jura. Jura, would you be interested in this deal?
As long as it is as strong or stronger than my weapon, I would gladly do it. Lord Sir Gar, please.
And she
Okay.
turns back to Gar and it's like, that's about as nice as he gets.
It
Well,
really
that's
is.
about as nice as I ask for. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Should keep an hand out
And
for me
with that,
too.
is there any final things we shall cover during the parley?
Wait, Zach, what did you say to him?
I kind of mumbled under my breath. I should keep a hand out for him too.
Oh boy. Actually, I'm gonna see if he heard that. Close the Navy, open the Pirates, Gar.
Definitely.
Oh yeah, he absolutely heard that.
Let me make something very clear to you.
He says, like, he sort of shrugs his coat off his left shoulder and he sets the bandaged up arm on the table.
When I say I'm going to do something, I do it.
You hear a sort of rumbling now as the table starts to shake.
When I say I'm going to find you a better weapon, I mean I'm going to find you a better weapon.
The front of the bandage now starts to burn off as it burns up his forearm.
And when I say I'm going to get even with that son of a bitch Colwall,
The bandages completely burn off. There's a cannon mounted onto his arm and it's glowing orange like with fire energy.
I am going
Gar,
to
that will not be
burn that.
necessary. That will
I
not
mean,
be
I'm
necessary.
going to burn that fucking dragonborn.
And Chari is going to kind of lean in between them and go, "Thank you, Gar, for the demonstration, but please, you're burning the table."
I'm gonna push Charia to the side and be like,
He looks down.
and be
There's
like,
now a-
Gar, I want to see you do it.
Can I cast Hold Person on
No,
him?
Hold on, are you-
I'm
What exactly?
I'm telling him I want to
What
see him
exactly
take out.
are you?
I'm pushing Charia to the side.
You want to see him take out Kowal?
Yeah, I want to see it in
You want
person.
to see him take out?
Nope.
No, Drago, this is good. This is fine.
Yeah, he's talking about Gar taking out Kowal. He is not.
Oh. Oh. Right.
Then stick those once we're down there.
Probably be the best.
Some of my people say you were talking about resisting magic. Maybe seeing some of it in action might give you some tips.
But if there's anything else from the other pirate lords, and Gar, can you please stop your cannon from burning the table?
Oh, it's already like the glowing has stopped, and Ulayla has actually cast her staff over the table and has mended it.
Thank you. But the other pirate lords, do we have any final moments before we seal the deal on this one?
No, I think it would be better if we just all go about what we decided we were going to do.
Agreed. We all have our missions.
Alright. And League, of course, you shall be busy dealing with League City after all of that talkery.
Well,
But-
you also you're getting the image in your mind now, keeping an
Mhm.
eye out.
I give him the thumbs up, and with that, I do believe I will hand it back to Nico.
Like Nico sort of props himself up again, like straightens his hat.
Alright, so we all know what needs to be done. It sounds like, for the first time in a really long time, the curtain may be closing on this stalemate we've got going with the Navy. I want all of you to proceed with caution. I know I'm in hardly any position to give orders to my seniors, but we might be on the cusp of something really big and really bloody here. And that goes double for you lot.
He turns to now Okazad and the rest of you.
Not to sort of throw shade here, but you don't exactly pack the same punch that most of us do. If there's a threat to us, then it's a huge threat to you guys.
Of course. But
We need to be. told
that won't mean that we will sit.
And frankly, if you're going down there with Captain Gar, I can't imagine much better company in the South Sea to head down there with. Then if nobody else has anything, we can consider this parley adjourned.
All right.
And she'll turn to brain failing. What was the pirate lord's from Crescent Cove's name again?
From where?
Crescent
Oh,
Cove.
Gear.
Uh,
Her name is
and,
Gearin. Yeah. Her name is Gearin Carmel.
And Pirate Lord Kieran, if you would like to talk to us here in a minute once everything calms down, we can talk about the jobs that you might have for us.
Of course.
And with that, and Traria stands and she bows, of course, to the other Pirate Lords.
Yeah, they all stand and return it.
Okazad, we should probably get back to the ship for right now and plan out our movements with Lord Gieran's watchful eye, I guess I could say. Sorry for the pun.
I'll send Corson to you once we're done here.
Understood.
Yes, it seems that we have a bunch of work ahead of us, and well, we better work on actually getting to that punch.
All right. Then with that, I will say you bow out. Like all the other pirate lords, they start to file out after you. Hermes takes off back to Vernal as soon as he's out the door. Or no, actually, because Thalia, you said you had something to.
Well, no,
Did
I
you,
just kissed Hermes on the cheek. I've already told him what I needed to, so I just
All
kissed him on the cheek as I go to leave.
Yeah, now, like, specifically you, Thalia, nobody else gets this, but you get the image of, like, we'll meet you later.
I just nod.
And then Hermes takes off. You get, like, that falcon shriek as he takes off into the night sky back west towards Vernal.
And Shari is going to give like you did a good job handling the situation to Nikos, but once she's like out the door and out of sight, she's like, oh god, I never want to do that again.
Well, unfortunately, that's how most of our official operations are settled around here.
Could be worse.
Oh yeah, no, it could have been worse, which is why I took over talking for a little bit, because if I had let Gar talk much longer, he might have just shot her.
No, even Gar knows better than to break the code for the Parley, but I knew as soon as that new Commodore, Lieutenant Commander Atara, as soon as she name-dropped Kowal, I knew he was going to be only too happy to lead the charge down there.
We'll keep an eye on him and keep him out of trouble as best we can, but yeah, he's Gar, so that's going to be about as useful as a string tied to the back of a tiger's tail.
Like, Liz and Patty both look at you. Excuse us?
No, actual tigers. Not. I didn't mean you guys.
Like, they smile and nod, like Eliza obviously gets, like, the shit-eating grin, like, yeah, we were messing with you, and Patty's laughing.
Yeah, no, sorry, I kind of guessed that, but
Those two are adorable.
we'll have to. It'll definitely be work trying to keep Gar under control, but we'll definitely try to keep them together as best as we can.
Believe it or not, he actually keeps a pretty cool head under pressure. Of course, if the situation unfolds where he actually comes to blows with Commander Kowal, then he might lose his shit a little bit, but believe it or not, that might actually work in you guys' favor.
Stronger when he gets angry, I expect.
As far as the pirate lords go, and obviously the Eighth notwithstanding, Gar is probably the ultimate combination of physical might and magical power we've got.
Yeah, I just worry that he'll get swept up in his revenge.
Frankly, that's another good reason for you guys going down there with him. If he does get a little in after his head,
And he kind of leans in to sort of whisper it to you guys personally.
I may have to rely on you to pull his ass out of the fire.
Yeah, well, Shari kind of just nods and goes, "Yeah, we'll try to keep an eye on him."
Just try not to cross blades with Kowal yourselves, if you don't have to.
That does sound like suicide of a level I don't have time for.
The problem I'm worried about is that if we are going down there, a confrontation with him might just be inevitable.
Oh, confrontation with the Navy is definitely going to happen.
I
but
don't
would
even
try
mean the Navy, I mean the High Commodore himself.
We'll just have to play this one by ear, Okazad.
Well, conveniently for you guys, Kowal's got a thing where he doesn't like challenging people that he knows are weaker than he is.
Yes, but if that last one who just came in here just out of nowhere is anything to go by, he'll be expecting Gar.
That's the idea. He's looking for Gar and nobody else.
And that's where the big concern is.
But it does give us an advantage since we're relative new players to the field, as we've just shown, as is just noted. But
Right.
the fact that the Commodore didn't know us. And, well, for right now at least, we're an unknown.
If you
We're a
guys do
wildcard.
happen to cross Kowal, it's entirely likely he'll just completely ignore you. Granted, if you do happen to find that artifact down there, he's not just going to let you walk away with it, but he's not going to raise his spear to you if he doesn't have to.
He'll probably just beat the
It
crap
all
out of us and
depends
tell
on
us
what
to.
we even find down there, what anyone finds down there, really. Well,
Well, because
know,
for-
there'll be absolutely nothing.
Well, because for frame of reference, like, what is Jura's maximum HP?
Give me 1 second here. It is
Not
25.
enough.
25? Okay. So obviously, not the highest just yet, but Gar was able to essentially kill you with a single cantrip. And Colwall is like I intentionally designed to be Gar's antithesis. Yeah, like every pirate lord has a High Commodore who is their rivaling force. For League, it was Evalier. For Nikos, it's now Xena, and for Gar, it's Colwall.
Nope. But we should probably get back to the Ivy, Nikos, so that way we can talk with Gieran.
Of course.
Have a nice night, and you did good tonight.
Thank you. You do the same.
And he's sort of like you see him like shrugging off that cloak that he's got. He takes the hat off. He starts to stretch a little bit, like he's getting back into casual thief mode.
Yeah, Charya is gonna shoot him a gold piece, just like go get a drink on me.
Like he doesn't look at you, but he like that thing where like you flick it at him, and like the camera pans over his shoulder and his hand comes up, just grabs it.
I think I will. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna need one tomorrow. But
Okay, so I'll give you the quick conversation with Gieran, and then that'll end it.
Okay.
So it's been a little bit. I guess the rest of y'all are doing your things aboard the Ivy. I'll say Charya, for ease of access, you're standing out on the deck.
Wait a minute, would I not be here for this conversation, considering...
Yes. If you want to be here for the conversation, by all means, go for
I'm
it.
definitely staying here for this, because this is my ship we're taking.
Fair. So then, yeah, you both see, after about 15 or so minutes, Corson kind of like jellyfish swimming through the air from the chance meeting to the Ivy.
Well,
Yeah, but basically, this thing is basically a giant 2-foot vertical jellyfish with an eye in the center.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen this somewhere.
I based the design off of Doom's Eye from Shadow.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's exactly what I was thinking.
A little more than base.
I tried a bunch of different designs. It was the only one that worked. Like I feel like it was a bit of a rip, but it was the only one that looked good. Anyway. So yeah, this guy actually, I think I actually have Gieran's thing already. Yep. So as soon as Corson gets over the deck, the amber eye fades to the icy blue one.
You wanted to speak to me?
Well, of course, you said you had a... Well, one, you said you might have a job for us hunting someone, and... Well, I do have a personal matter, but that can wait for...
Yes, but first answer me this. What do you know about the Vampire's Code? More specifically, the Code of Marluxia that we all agree to follow upon turning.
Did I get this with my last check when I was doing a whole bunch of research into Marluxia?
You did, actually. You
Okay.
know that per the Code of Marluxia, despite what mortals think of them, vampires are actually not allowed, per the Goddess of Darkness who created them, they are not allowed to just go out and randomly attack people. Like, there's rules they have to follow, because they know if they start attacking mortals with wanton abandon, it's going to incite a war, and it's going to be bad for them. So a big part of that is, don't go out randomly attacking mortals, don't sell out other vampires. Basically, if you have to get your blood, get it either from animals or from willing people.
Alright. Well, I do know that the code strictly says not to attack or feast on just random people. Don't sell out other vampires, and if I remember, the other one is if you need to feed off of animals or off of willing people.
Correct.
And all to avoid the war.
Correct. But unfortunately, as fate would have it, one of my former crew members decided that he wasn't content to have vampires just live in the shadows anymore. He decided that it would be better if mortal kind were simply eradicated. And now he's been going around violating the Code of Marluxia, and frankly, if word from Lady Marluxia's divine champion is anything to go on, he's trying to merge this world with hers.
Charya is just going to sigh, and is she going to turn to Okazad? Okazad, haven't we dealt with something like this before?
No,
Uh.
specifically roll religion for this.
Okay. Well, no, I was just
he's
making
making
a
a joke of it, is what he's doing.
Yeah.
But religion.
Of course, then that won it. Again!
Yeah. 19.
Yeah. So Okazad, you're a Rashia guy. You don't know, but Charia,
Research.
you know that Marlucia's realm is basically a celestial plane of pure darkness. Like that's just what it is. If that area, like that plane, and the mortal plane were to merge, it would be a realm of eternal night. No sun. Like vampires would be free to just walk around whenever, wherever. And if this guy got his way, the one Girion is talking about, vampires could start attacking people, because who the fuck's gonna fight a war with vampires when it's night all the time?
Yeah. And she's just gonna sigh and goes, he's really attempting to merge the realms to the point where there's eternal night. And he thinks this will somehow make things better for vampires?
You can see how this raises concern.
Entirely. And it means that we have to hunt down another stupid crewmate from... no offense, but this would be the second time we've had to hunt down a crewmate from another pirate lord who decided to go stupid over something like this.
Yes, Captain Negos was telling me how you handled Lucian Bellroot. Very expertly done. Unfortunately, I don't feel this will be the same. You see,
I get this feeling myself.
You see, I've received the order from Marlucia's divine champion. We're to kill this man.
Well... Oh, I see. That's...
I assume you have a lead for us then on this man's location.
I do. His name is Boudreaux. And I believe you'll find the last time I lost track of him, he was sailing up towards Card to raise some hell.
Where's Card? Oh, Card.
Card.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Card is the southernmost city-state on the main continent.
Do we know if he's still on the ocean?
Unfortunately, I don't. My scouts lost track of him a while ago, and any attempts to glean new information have been met with hostility.
Well, that is around the area where we're supposed to go anyway, so I wouldn't see...
Too much of a problem.
Yeah, it's not too much of a problem, and we can always... after we're done, we can always send a message to you once it's done, once we hit Phaleo.
Well, she looks to you, Charia.
I feel since he is a vampire, he may be attempting to hide out in the Underdark or other areas where he can escape the sun during the light of day. You appear to be the type who may have some contacts there, so that may be a sensible place to start.
That's racist.
Unfortunately, the contacts that I did have assume that I'm dead or want to be dead currently due to, how shall we say, family matters.
Well,
The
I'm not
family.
exactly saying that you have to enlist the Drow for help. There's an Underdark that I'm sure would lend you a sympathetic ear.
Of course, I do have one friend I can possibly call on, but unfortunately, the Arba family does not exactly have much power in the Underdark, but I'll see what I can do.
Well, in the event...
And she takes out a very fancy piece of... Or Corson, like, sort of materializes a fancy piece of parchment.
Mm-hmm.
And with his tentacle, he sort of... Almost like burns, almost like if you had a magnifying glass on it, just long enough to change the color from white to brown without actually, burning it. His tentacle is doing that. And he spells out the dude's name. It's based on French, so there's a lot of letters that are unnecessary to the pronunciation. But it's B-O-U.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah.
B-O-U?
B-O-U-D-R-E-A-U-X.
Okay. God damn it.
Yeah, I don't know why the French are fucking like that, but it's Boudreaux is how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
To be fair, the English language isn't much better either.
I know English isn't any better, and I'm sure any French Johnny would agree, but me as an English-speaking person, I look at French and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
To be honest, most French people probably do the same thing.
Oh yeah, I know. And I don't. You know what? I don't fault
Hot
him
on the
for it.
kettle.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. But anyway,
So, if there was nothing else,
Well, there was a personal matter I was wishing to talk with you with, but if you would, it would probably be best to save it after we've dealt with your vampire friend, your vampire crewmate.
because this is about that other thing we talked about, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so did you want to do that now at 4 so you can start it at level 5, or did you want to start it at level 6?
You know what? We'll go with. Well, you know what? I'm up for doing it for level 5.
Okay, then that may expedite this a little quicker.
Actually, not to immediately call upon your favor or Marlucius Champion's favor immediately, but I was looking for some, how shall you say, additional power due to my situation in the Underdark. That and him being a vampire does make him outclass us mortals by a small margin, if not larger.
Let me see if I have anything for. Does she have?
I can roll.
I mean, she doesn't have proficiency in it, but let me see.
I can roll persuasion.
Yeah, go ahead. I mean, even if I give that to her without advantage, she would still probably glean what you're talking about.
Yeah. 22. And
Stop it with these
I don't think
things.
you had a bad roll all night.
No, before you guys even say anything, that was only a 14.
Oh, I know. But like, you see Coruscant's like the silver or the cold blue eye like kind of look at you.
so you're looking to fight him on not quite equal footing, but with a vampiric blessing.
If you would be so kind. And this would also help some other issues I'm having to deal with in the Underdark and put things back into balance down there.
Oh, my darling, I'll be completely transparent with you. That kind of contract would result in, obviously, power for you, but you would have to do my bidding when I call upon you.
Of course, and that is why we're doing this job for you as early payment, I should say.
Very well, then I'll require one thing from you.
And what would that be?
Just a small drop of blood, that's all.
And Coruscant sort of like sends one of his lower tentacles out, and the end of it kind of opens up like a small mouth.
No, she pulls out the switchblade, pops it out, and cuts along one of her fingers, just big enough to make a couple of big drops, and drops it in.
Yeah, you see like in the even in like the icy blue eye, like 2 ripples of red go from the pupil to the outsides as the drops hit.
Very well. I'll have some ritualistic preparations to make, but once it's complete, our contract will be in effect.
Understood. And do understand, because I am not betraying you for her. I am merely doing something that will help me in the long run.
If there was nothing else,
No, I do not believe I had anything else.
The-
Okazad, did you have anything?
Yeah, the eye looks over to Okazad.
Drago?
No, not that I can think of. You pretty much answered everything for him.
very good then. I'll have to take my leave and continue pursuing leads. Coulson, return to Crescent Cove at once, please.
The eye turns back to Amber,
Yes, I'm on my way.
and you see the jellyfish kind of just like all the tentacles kind of clamp shut. He flies up into the air and he takes off like a comet, like heading east.
Wonder when we can get one of those for ourselves.
Maybe if I'm good enough, she'll give me one or something.
We'll see.
I'm pretty trustworthy. I once had a pet. I didn't even stab it for a whole 5 minutes. She says. She says with like a sly smile, like she's joking.
And that is where we'll end it today.
We didn't die, guys.
Yeah, like I feel like I made it known to pretty much everyone but Zach. Like I'm really hoping Jura does not fuck this up for everybody.
I sincerely hope the same.
I think I did pretty well there.
I think you did too. It was definitely better than the alternative. And again, I apologize for like it was the rolls. If not for the rolls, you would have gotten all 3 of your weapons back.
It's alright. Now he's getting me something better.
But that's just how some go sometimes. You did also make it some pretty high rolls to get, though.
Yeah, and to be fair, you went on an interesting adventure. You tackled a chick with some ducks. And you did stay on your game, and now Gar is actually going to look for a weapon for you.
We have a mutual agreement between each other.
More or less.
No.
Yeah. At any rate, he doesn't view you as the same obnoxious little scaly mosquito that he cast a suggestion on.
We're still gonna fight at some point unless he dies in this battle.
I highly doubt he's going to. If anything, it may come to him and Colwalt coming to a standstill, depending on how shit goes down here. There's a very branching storyline that could take place in that undersea area.
We have to get down there first.
And then we joined the Admiralty. Like, what?
Yeah, things could go in the... really, things could go anywhere.
Just gonna have to wait and see until the next 2 months. Alright, well I guess that's it. So everyone say
That's
goodbye.
part of the campaign where I am going to be... No. Yeah.
No.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Later.